Chapter 1. Ariella's point of view. Ariella, you need to get ready for school. Okay, mommy. I grabbed my school bag and looked at myself in the mirror to check if I looked okay. I did. Then I walked out of my room and went down the stairs to the kitchen. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sweetie, my dad said and gave me a kiss on the cheek. I looked around the kitchen and noticed someone was missing. Where's Talon? He's still in his room. He should be coming down soon. Talon is my twin brother. Mom and Dad gave us names that sound alike because we're twins. To be honest, I don't like that. Okay, where's Kaelith? My mom smiled like she already knew something. He's probably with his dad talking about what he'll do when he becomes the alpha. Oh. I forgot to tell you, I'm a werewolf. And now that you know that, let me tell you more about me. My full name is Ariella Kaesila, and I'm 18 years old. My eyes are light green, my hair is brown but I dyed it black, and my skin is caramel colored. Like I said, I have a twin brother named Talon. He has brown hair too but he dyed his blonde, and he also has green eyes and the same skin color as me. My parents are Teresa and Luther, and we are part of the Dark Moon Pack. My dad used to be the beta of the pack. That means he was the second boss, but that's a long story. Ariella. I stopped daydreaming and looked at my dad. Yes, Daddy. He tapped his watch. Time for school. I looked at the clock on the wall. Oh no, I'm going to be late. Watch your words, Carrie. Sorry, Mom. I shouted, then ran outside to my car. I got this car, a red Kia Sportage, for my 18th birthday not too long ago, and I love it so much. I was about to get in when someone spun me around and kissed me. I melted right into the hug, and only one person could do that. Kaelith Knight, the next alpha. Leaving without me, he said with his lips close to mine. I smiled as I pulled back. I didn't know where you were and I was running late. Sorry, sweetheart. My dad called me to talk about pack stuff. It's okay, Luke. You're here now. He smiled. Yep, I'm here. He gave me a small kiss. No, Kaelith isn't my mate, but I love him like he is. I know it'll be hard when we finally meet our true mates, but I don't think that will happen anytime soon. I'll drive. It's the least I can do since I made you wait. Well, if you really want to. He laughed, and I walked to the passenger seat and got in. He sat in the driver's seat and we headed to school. 15 minutes later. He parked in the same spot we always use. Wait here just for a second. I looked at him confused but did what he said. He got out and came around to open the door for me. My lady. I smiled. You're too sweet. Only for you. He kissed me again and held my hand as we walked into school together. I kept sneaking peeks at him. Kaelith has short, messy blonde hair, but it somehow still looks nice. His eyes are brown, and his skin is just a little lighter than mine. Looking at me again, he asked with a smirk. I bit my lip and looked down, feeling my cheeks turn red. I looked back at him once I wasn't blushing anymore. But then I saw that his eyes had turned a darker color, black. That means he was feeling, all lovey. Luke, stop it. I waved my hand in front of his face. He closed his eyes for a second. When he opened them, his eyes were back to normal. He scratched the back of his neck. Sorry. It's okay. You know what happens when you look at me like that, Ariella. I know, and I'm sorry. Just try to stay calm. You can't be all crazy in the school hallway, right? He gently pushed me back against the wall and stood really close. Would you hate it if I did? He said in a low voice. I couldn't say anything. I just froze. Nothing to say? I shook my head slowly. He leaned in and kissed me. He bit my lip gently, and I opened my mouth so our tongues could touch. I wrapped my arms around his neck, and he put his hands on my waist to pull me closer. I don't want to see that. I pulled away from Kaelith and looked left. My brother was standing there with his hands over his eyes. I laughed. You don't have to look, Talon. I know, but you're late for class, and I was told to come get you. Oh, and your eyes are black. I closed my eyes and waited until I knew they were back to normal. Then I opened them again. Okay, better. Now hurry before I get in trouble for taking too long. I smiled and turned back to Kaelith. Meet me at lunch? He nodded. I'll come to your class, and we'll walk together. He kissed me again. I love you, Ariella. I love you too, Kaelith. I smiled and walked off to class with my brother. I don't like that boy. Why? What's wrong with him? He lifted his shoulders. I just feel something's off about him, but since you clearly care about him, I put up with it. Aw, that's sweet. Whatever. But what happens if one of you meets your mate? I let out a sigh. We haven't talked about that yet. You should talk. You never know when your mate will show up. I know. We didn't say anything else while we walked to class. I think we just didn't know what to say. We stepped into our next subject, English literature, and every head turned to look at us. Why are you late, Miss Casella? Got held up. I'm sure you did. One more late arrival and it's detention, got it? Yes, sir. Good. Take your seat. Thank you, Mr. Casella. My brother gave a nod and walked to his chair, which was 4 rows in front of mine. I sat next to my best friends, Renee and Sam. Held up? More like pinned down. Renee burst out in laughter and I turned red and looked down at my desk. Miss Samuels, would you like to share something with the class? Renee shook her head. No, sir. Sorry for laughing out loud. He stared at her for another second, then went back to teaching. I can't stand you too, I mumbled. We love you too, Carrie. I smiled and turned my attention back to Mr. Ferreira, until I heard a voice that made my skin crawl. What does Kaelith even see in her? Marissa muttered. She's human, so she has no idea I can hear better than normal. I caught every word even though she was 3 rows behind. I know, right? She's not even that cute, Kayla, her shadow, replied. I could feel anger rising inside me, and I knew my eyes had turned red. They always do that when I get mad. Ariella? I didn't say anything. I was too upset to answer. Ariella, calm down. I started to settle a little, until she spoke again. I'll show him what he's been missing with me. He'll drop her for good. I could actually hear the smug tone in her voice, and it just made me boil over. Ariella, calm down now before you shift right here in class. Do you want everyone to find out? That snapped me back. I took a bunch of deep breaths and shut my eyes for a second. When I opened them again, I looked at Renee and Sam with an "I'm sorry" look. Sorry. It's okay. Why did you get so mad? Marissa and Kayla. I saw a little fire in their eyes too. Got it. Renee and Sam aren't werewolves like me, but they know everything because I told them. I had to. They're my best friends, always have been. My parents and Kaelith were fine with it, but the alpha wasn't. Let's just say he was really mad at first, but after a while, he chilled out and welcomed them. Now they can come by whenever they feel like it. She just doesn't know how to be quiet, Renee said through her teeth. Miss Samuels, this is your last warning before I write you up. Sorry again, sir. He shook his head a little and went back to teaching. The rest of the lesson was quiet. Lunch. I walked out of biology and saw Kaelith leaning on the wall. I ran straight into his arms. I missed you too, Carrie, he said with a little laugh in his voice. Sorry, I stepped back a bit, just really happy to see you. He grabbed my waist and pulled me close. Why don't you show me how happy you really are, he said in a low, flirty voice, and I smirked. Gladly. I was about to kiss him when we got interrupted. Not again. I pulled away and looked over to see Talon. Okay, fine. No kissing in front of you. Happy now? Thank you. I held Kaelith's hand while Talon threw his arm around my shoulder. So little sis, how was biology? You're only older by 2 minutes. He smirked. Still older. Whatever. And if you want to know, biology was fine. Nothing I couldn't deal with. I heard you almost changed in English Lit. I didn't know. I sighed. Sam told you, didn't he? He nodded. Marissa and Kayla are 2 troublemakers who live to bug me. If Renee and Sam hadn't been there, I might have ripped their heads off in wolf form. Kaelith laughed beside me, so I punched him hard in the arm. You think that's funny? He gave me a shy smile but didn't say anything, so I hit him again. Ow. Ariella, what was that for? You think Marissa getting on my nerves is a joke? I never said that. You know what, Kaelith? Go eat lunch with the jocks and their girlfriends. I'm sure they'll think it's funny too. I grabbed Talon's shirt sleeve and dragged him into the cafeteria, over to where Renee, Sam, and Talon's buddy Damon were sitting. What's the matter, Carrie? Kaelith. What did he do? I told him what happened with Marissa and Kayla, and he laughed. She stared at me, surprised. Why would he laugh about that? I was hoping you'd be the one to explain it to me. I turned to Damon. Hey, Damon. Hey, Ariella. Damon's a werewolf, part of our pack. He's also Talon's best friend, and he feels like another brother to me. He has brown hair that hangs over his eyes, which are also brown, pale skin, and a really fit body. He's walking over here. I didn't turn to look, I didn't have to. I could already catch Kaelith scent behind me. Baby, I'm sorry. I stared at my fingernails, not wanting to meet his eyes. Oh, really? Yes, please just look at me. I hate it when you're mad at me. I let out a deep breath and turned to face him. The look in his eyes showed real hurt. Go on. He sighed and rubbed the back of his neck. I didn't laugh on purpose. It just came out. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I'm really, really sorry. Will you please forgive me? I kept looking at his eyes. I could tell he meant every word. So I stood up, leaned in, and kissed him gently before pulling away and looking at him again. I forgive you. He gave me a soft smile and kissed my lips quickly. Thanks. I held his hand, and we both sat at the table, joining in on whatever our friends were talking about. After school, Kaelith opened the car door for me on the passenger side, and I gave him a thankful smile. Then he took my hand, and we walked into the pack house together. Mom, Dad. We're in the living room, Ariella. Kaelith and I stepped into the lounge and saw my mom, Dad, and the alpha sitting there. Dad, what's going on? I asked, confused. We're leaving. Who's leaving? Our family. We're moving out of the pack. I stared at him in shock. Why? What happened? You don't need to know the details, sweetheart. It's complicated. Just know we're leaving in 2 days, so enjoy what time you have left. I looked at the alpha and narrowed my eyes at him. This is your doing. He raised an eyebrow. What did you say? This is your fault. He stood up and looked down at me. Watch how you speak, young lady, before I do something I'll regret, he said in a warning voice. Kaelith moved between us and stood up to his father. Don't you dare talk to her like that. Step aside, son. She needs to learn respect. She has no right to speak that way to the alpha. And you have no right to speak like that to the future alpha female. I saw something shift in his expression before he said, she's not your mate. She can't be alpha female. Tears rushed into my eyes, and I turned and ran upstairs to my room. I threw myself onto my bed and buried my face in my pillow, crying. What he said hurt more than anything, because it was the truth. To be alpha female, you have to be the mate of the alpha. That's the rule. And since I'm not Kaelith mate, I can never be the alpha female. Not that it really matters now, because I'm leaving the pack. I won't get to see him again, and just thinking about that made me cry even harder. There was a knock on my door. Ariella? I didn't answer, but I heard the door open. The bed dipped beside me, and when I looked up, Kaelith was there, looking down at me. He didn't mean it. Doesn't matter. It's still true. We're not mates. But we love each other. Doesn't that count? Of course it matters, but, one day, we'll meet our real mates. And when that happens, we won't be able to stay together. Not that it makes a difference now, because I'm leaving. I'll go with you. I shook my head. You're going to be alpha one day. You can't walk away from the pack because of me. But I don't want to lose you. I looked down and whispered, you have to. I lay back down and felt his arms wrap around my waist. Can I stay with you tonight? I turned to face him and met his eyes. Please do. He held me closer, and I rested my head on his chest. I wanted to be as close to him as I could. I knew this moment wouldn't last, and that's why I had to make these next 2 days matter more than anything. Chapter 2. Ariella's POV. 2 days later. Just let me come with you. I stepped out of the hug and shook my head at him. I can't let you do that, Kaelith. This is your home. He shook his head too. My home is wherever you are. I closed my eyes. No, your home is with your true mate. When I opened my eyes, his head turned red. That always meant he was angry. What are you trying to say? Don't you love me? I stared at him, surprised. Of course I love you. I've known you forever. How could you even question that? It's just, no matter how strong our love is, we aren't meant to be together. We're meant to be with our destined mates. He shut his eyes for a second, then opened them. His usual eye color was back. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. It's just, you're leaving, and I'm really going to miss you. I smiled through my tears and leaned forward to kiss him gently. I'm going to miss you too, Kaelith. Ariella, it's time to leave, my dad shouted from the car. Coming. I gave Kaelith one last kiss, then hugged Renee, Sam, and Damon tightly one final time. I'll miss you guys. We'll miss you too. And don't forget to send me pictures of cute boys, alright? I smiled. You got it, Renee. I gave them each one more hug before I climbed into the car. I waved at them through the window and blew Kaelith a kiss, which he caught in his hand. That made me cry even more. Once they were out of sight, I leaned back into my seat and let the tears keep falling quietly. I was leaving everything I knew, my life, my friends, my school, and my boyfriend, well, ex-boyfriend now. And there was nothing I could do to stop it. I sat in the back seat and eventually cried myself to sleep. 1 hour later. Carrie? I felt a hand on my shoulder but I groaned and brushed it off. I was too tired. Ariella? What? I said in a sleepy voice. We're here. I opened my eyes, but the sunlight hit me too hard, so I shut them again. Daddy? Yes, sweetheart. Carry me. He laughed. You're 18, Ariella. But I'm sleepy, I said in a baby voice. Alright, fine. My dad might be older, sort of, but he's definitely not weak. Being a wolf gives him extra strength. He lifted me out of the car, and I kept my eyes shut. I wasn't ready to deal with all the brightness just yet. She can't walk? That voice. It was deep, smooth, and made me open my eyes right away. And when I looked up, I saw a guy who was, wow. Not just handsome, more like the kind of guy who makes you want to jump him on the spot. Oh, she can walk. She's just being lazy, my dad said, chuckling. You can put me down now, Dad. He let me go, and I fixed my clothes before turning around to face the guy who looked like a walking god. Don't mind my daughter, my dad said. I'm Luther Casella. I believe you've already met my wife Teresa and my son Talon? The man nodded. I have. And finally, this is Ariella. I'm guessing she and Talon are twins? My dad nodded. Yes, they are. Well, I'm Riven, the alpha of the Shadow Valley pack. He shook my dad's hand, then reached for mine. And the moment his hand touched mine, I felt a spark shoot through my whole body. I knew right away what it meant. Riven is my mate. I suddenly noticed we were still holding hands, so I quickly pulled mine back. Yeah, nice to meet you, Riven. My dad gave both of us a weird look before speaking again. I just want to thank you for welcoming us into your pack. It's no trouble. There'll be a ceremony tomorrow to officially welcome you all as members. That's really kind of you. Riven smiled, and wow, I nearly fainted from how perfect he looked. His smile, those white teeth, he was just stunning. Ariella? His voice pulled me back to reality, and I looked around. My dad had vanished. Had I been staring at Riven that long? Where's my dad? He went to find his room. Alright, well, I'll go too. I turned to leave, but he grabbed my wrist. That same jolt of electricity rushed through me again. Did you feel that? He whispered near my ear, and I nodded. We're mates, I whispered back. He looked at me and said, let's make something clear, I don't want a mate. I was fine before, and I don't need you messing that up. Got it? I pulled my wrist away from his hand and turned to look him in the face. Whether you like it or not, we are mates. And maybe you can control everyone else, but not me. I stepped closer to him. In fact, I'll be the one controlling you. I lightly tapped his cheek, spun around, and walked up the stairs. I thought I heard a growl behind me, but I didn't care. If Riven thinks he's going to boss me around, he's in for a big surprise. Riven, POV. She turned around and walked up the stairs, and I let out a quiet growl. She's so bold, and that just makes me want her more. Why couldn't she have been plain or something? Of course not, she just had to be drop-dead gorgeous. I half meant what I said when I told her I didn't want a mate. Part of me does, someone to complete me, to hold at night, someone who's only mine. But the other part? The other part knows it'll just make life messy, and I don't want any of that. Riven? I pushed thoughts of Ariella to the back of my head and turned toward Torin. Yeah? Did you meet the new family? I gave a nod. Yeah, I did. It was very eventful. He raised one eyebrow. Eventful how? I sighed. I found my mate. For real? What's her name? Ariella. Luther's daughter? The same. I saw her on the way down here, and I've got to admit, she's hot. I growled low in my throat. What did you say? What? I said she's fine. Now I was trembling with anger. She's mine. Oh, really? Because it looked like you turned her down. That made me pause. I took a long breath and shut my eyes until I knew they were back to normal. I did. He stared at me, clearly puzzled. Why would you do that? She's your mate. I don't want one. He scoffed. Yeah, right. You nearly took my head off just because I said she looked good. Just stay away from her, alright? She's mine. He put a hand on my shoulder. Relax, man. I was only joking. She's your mate, not mine. But still, you really should be more careful. To other guys, she's practically a walking fantasy. Not if I've got anything to say about it. I went straight upstairs to Ariella's room and walked in without knocking. She was lying on the bed texting, and I couldn't stop my eyes from checking her out. I mean, how could I not? She's stunning. Don't you know how to knock? It's my house. Yeah, well it's my room now. Ugh, you're such a guy. I laughed. I am a guy. You noticed that, right? She bit her lip and looked away, embarrassed, and next thing I knew, I was on top of her, pinning her underneath me. Don't do that. My eyes were probably pitch black now, because the way she bit her lip had me wanting her badly. That little move was way too hot. I can't help it, she said softly. I do that whenever I feel shy or awkward. She did it again, and I let out a quiet moan, which clearly did something to her too, because I saw her eyes start to darken. I leaned down, kissing gently up her neck until I reached the side of her lips. I was waiting for her to stop me, but she didn't. Instead, she grabbed my hair and brought my lips to hers, starting to kiss herself. I felt it. That spark. The electricity that rushed through me the second her lips touched mine. Then she bit my lip and I didn't wait. I opened my mouth because I was dying to know what it would be like to kiss her deeper. And it didn't disappoint. I knew I had to stop, so I pulled back. When her eyes opened, they were black, just like mine. At least I wasn't the only one feeling it. Keep going, she said in a sultry voice. I shut my eyes and let them return to normal. When I opened them again, hers had changed back too. Not that it helped, I still couldn't look away. Her eyes were just that beautiful. I shouldn't have done that. I was about to ask why when her phone buzzed. I glanced at the screen and saw the name, Kaelith, love. Just like that, I started to get angry again. Who's Kaelith? No one. I got off the bed and stood tall, glaring at her. He's clearly someone. Why is there a heart next to his name? She sat up and glared right back. Don't talk to me like that. If I'm not wrong, I think you rejected me not 10 minutes ago. So don't get to judge me. Just tell me who he is. He's my boyfriend. You're mine. She gave a bitter laugh. You didn't even want me. I don't care. You're my mate, and I'm not about to share you with another guy. You won't have to share, because he'll have all of me. I marched toward her and pinned her back to the bed, holding her wrists so she couldn't fight me off. He's not your mate. I am. He loves me like a mate, way more than I can say about you. I let my anger drop and let my eyes shift back to normal. I won't love you. I saw something flash in her eyes at that. It hurt her. My words did that. But only for a second. Good. That'll make this easier. Now get off me. My girl's a firecracker. Wait. My girl? Well, technically yeah. But now I don't know anymore. I rejected her. And now she probably wants nothing to do with me. Don't hate me. The words left my mouth before I could stop them. She looked surprised, but quickly hid it. Too late. I let go of her wrists, but before I could back away, she punched me in the face. That's for holding me down, jerk. If it had been anyone else, I might have hit back. But not her. She's my mate, and I'll never hurt her. You already did, my wolf said. And he was right, I had. I stood up from the bed and turned to look at her one last time. Ariella? Goodbye, Alpha. That word, Alpha, cut through me. Her tone made it clear, she was done with me. Nothing I could say would fix it. So I turned around and left her room, heading back to mine. I let the anger take over too soon, because the second I shut my door, I slammed my fist into the wall. Then again. And again. And again. Until there were more than a dozen holes across the wall. Being a werewolf makes me strong, but being an alpha? That makes it worse. Then I heard a knock at my door. Riven? What? Your father wants to see you. I yanked the door open and stomped down to my dad's office, not even bothering to knock when I got there. Yes, Dad? Riven, POV. I want you to calm yourself first before saying anything else. I closed my eyes and started breathing slowly, trying to steady myself and force my eyes to return to their usual color. When I opened them again, my dad pointed to the chair across the desk, so I walked over and sat down. Did you welcome the new family yet? I nodded. Yeah, they seem really friendly. Don't try to cover it up, son. I already know Ariella is your mate. How did you find out? Torin told me. I'm going to murder him, I mumbled. You'll do no such thing. Ugh, damn sharp hearing, I muttered in my head. Does she know about it? Yes. And how did that go between the two of you? I rubbed the back of my neck. I kind of rejected her. You what? I don't want to fall for her, Dad. And you know why. It's unavoidable. She's your mate. You're going to love her whether you like it or not. I'll do everything I can to stop that from happening. He let out a breath. Son, I know that Lucy. Don't say her name around me, I cut him off, my voice cold and sharp. Since I'm alpha, he had to obey. All right. I know she hurt you, but don't take it out on Ariella. She's a good person, and beautiful, too. She's absolutely stunning. He smiled knowingly. You're clearly falling for her. I shook my head and put my emotionless expression back on. I won't love her, Dad. She's just like Lucy, I can feel it. Don't make assumptions, Riven. You don't know her well enough to say that. I let out a long breath. You're right, but she's just so sweet and gorgeous, and I'm scared of caring for her. If I give in, she could destroy me even worse than Lucy ever did. Her name tasted bitter when I said it. That doesn't mean you get to reject her. When you didn't know who your mate was, you lived life as normal. But now that she's here, you're going to need her more than you realize. Well, until that happens, I'm not falling in love with her. We're done here. I stood up from the chair and left his office. On my way past Ariella's room, I heard voices, and I was just about to knock when I heard something that made my stomach twist. I love you too, Kaelith. How could she love him? He's not her mate, I am. You rejected her, my wolf reminded me plainly. And once again, he was right. I didn't have a right to feel angry, but I couldn't help it. She's supposed to love me, not someone who's far away. You don't love her, so why should she love you? My wolf added. I sighed in frustration and walked back to my own room. Once I stepped in, I gasped at the damage. I must have been too furious earlier to notice it, but now the destruction was clear, holes all over the wall. I lay down on the bed and closed my eyes, silently begging for a night without dreams. But I didn't get that. Instead, I dreamt about Ariella, my mate. Everything in my world is about to flip upside down, and I know I have to push away the feelings I keep getting whenever I think about her. Chapter 3. Ariella's POV. I woke up in the worst mood. Just thinking about Riven made me mad. But I couldn't bring myself to hate him. He's my mate, I'm supposed to care about him. But how can I, when he clearly doesn't care back? I don't understand him. One moment he's telling me to stay away, that he doesn't want a mate, and the next, he's kissing me like I'm everything to him. It's driving me crazy. There was a knock at the door. Ariella. Come in, Talon. He opened the door and stepped into the room. What's going on? I gave him a puzzled look. Why do you think something's wrong? We're twins. I can feel what you feel. And right now, you're mad. I sighed. Promise you won't tell Mom or Dad? He nodded. I swear. Okay, well, I found my mate. His eyes lit up. That's amazing, Ariella. No, it's not. He rejected me. His eyes turned red. He did what? Don't make me say it again. Who is it? I bit my lip and looked down. Riven. I heard a low growl, and when I looked up, he was gone. Oh no, this is bad. I jumped off the bed and raced out of the room to find him. How dare you reject my sister? Yeah, definitely in Riven room. I ran toward the shouting, and when I arrived, they were both just standing there, glaring at each other with blood-red eyes. You don't get to speak to me like that. I'm your alpha, Riven warned. I don't care. You have no right to reject your mate, my sister. I'll do whatever I want. I don't want her. Talon snapped. He lunged at Riven and started punching him over and over in the face, until Riven pushed him back, and I knew things were about to get worse. He was about to shift. Stop it, both of you. They were both trembling with rage, though Riven looked worse than Talon. I knew I had to calm him down first. I walked up to him, took his face in my hands, and made him look at me. Breathe. Calm down. He deserves to be taught a lesson, he growled. He's my brother. If you hurt him, you hurt me too. Do you really want to hurt me? That did it. His eyes immediately went back to normal. I don't want to hurt you, Ariella. Then say you're sorry, for me. He nodded, and I let go of his face. He walked over to Talon, apologized, and then came back to me. I'm sorry. Me too. He looked at me, clearly confused, but didn't react fast enough to stop me from kicking him right in the crotch. That's for pushing my brother. I grabbed a handful of his hair and forced him to look at me. Don't ever touch him again. Got it? He nodded while groaning, and I let go of his hair. Then I grabbed Talon's sleeve and dragged him out of the room. Dang, sis. When did you get so savage? I laughed. I never had a reason to show it before. Still, you just kicked an alpha. In his manhood. Well, technically, I'm the alpha female. He can't do anything to me. True. I kept holding onto his sleeve as we went downstairs. When we got there, we saw our mom and dad talking to two people I didn't know. Ah, here they are, my son Talon and my daughter Ariella. Hi. They smiled. I don't think we've been introduced yet. I'm Neil, and this is my wife Sadie. We're Riven parents. Oh, well, it's nice to meet you, I said while shaking both their hands. Likewise. How are you adjusting? I'm fine. Has Riven been helping you settle in? Yeah, he's been just amazing, I replied with clear sarcasm, though it seemed only Talon and Mr. Kepler caught it. Sadie, would you mind showing Luther and Teresa around the house? Of course not. Mrs. Kepler led my parents out of the kitchen, and Mr. Kepler turned his attention to me. I'm aware that Riven is your mate. How do you know? He told me, and I want to apologize for how he's acted. Oh, don't worry about it, Mr. Kepler. She already handled it, Talon said. Mr. Kepler looked confused. What do you mean by that? Let's just say she put him in his place. He looked at me, raising an eyebrow, and I figured I might as well explain. He hurt my brother, so I kicked him where it hurts. He looked surprised. Seriously? I nodded. I don't tolerate anyone hurting my family, especially someone who's supposed to care about me. I don't want to love you. I turned toward the doorway and saw Riven standing there, expressionless. Why not? We're fated to be together. I don't want a mate. I won't go through heartbreak again. I was about to ask what he meant by that, but he walked out before I could. I turned to his dad, confused. What did he mean by that? Ask him yourself. I sighed and walked in the direction Riven had gone. I didn't need to look long. He was sitting in the lounge, head buried in his hands. I didn't want to bother him, so I turned to leave. I know you're there, Ariella. I can smell your scent. I mentally cursed and turned back around, walking over to him. I want to talk. He lifted his head and looked at me with those sharp blue eyes. Why? Because I want to know who hurt you. Why do you care? You already have someone else. His tone made me flinch slightly. He's not my boyfriend, he's someone I care deeply about. So he is your boyfriend. You tell me how I should love you because we're mates, but you're in love with another guy. He's been by my side my whole life. He's been like a mate to me. We both knew we'd find our real mates eventually, and now I have. I reached for his hand, but he moved away and turned his face. I was about to ask what was wrong when a girl came in and plopped down on his lap. Hi, baby. Baby? I let out a bitter laugh. Unbelievable. You lecture me about having a boyfriend, and you've got a girlfriend? That's rich. I stood up to leave when I felt a hand wrap around my wrist, and the spark confirmed it was Riven. She's not my girlfriend. I gave him a blank stare. I disagree. She's just some girl. She doesn't mean anything to me. I'm right here, you know. Get off me, Tina. As the alpha, his word was law, so she quickly climbed off him and stormed out, but not before saying, I'll see you later tonight, baby. She winked at him. I growled in her direction, making her rush out of the room. I turned back to Riven, my eyes burning with rage. She means nothing to me. You've said that already, and I still don't believe it. He pulled me down beside him on the couch. I don't want to fall in love with you, Ariella, but I already have. And I can't let it happen. You're not making any sense. So you're saying you're in love with me, but don't want to be? He nodded. That's exactly it. Well, that's not good enough, Riven. I've tried to reach you, but I'm done now. I stood up to leave. Ariella, wait. I flipped him off and walked away, heading upstairs, putting as much distance between us as I could. Riven, POV. She gave me the finger and left the room, and I ran both hands through my hair. Tina had completely ruined everything, and she needed to hear it. I stood up and went into the kitchen. Where's Tina? She's in the pool room. Why? I didn't answer. I just headed straight for the pool area. When I got there, she was stepping out of the water. And if I hadn't met Ariella, I probably would have been drooling over her body, but now? She didn't compare. Not even close. So, you came back for me? My eyes instantly turned red, and in a second, I had her pinned against the wall by the neck. You cost me my mate, I growled. I didn't know she was your mate, she choked out. Liar. You knew, and now she hates me even more. I didn't. Shut up. She tried to pry my hand off her throat, but I had used too much strength, she couldn't budge me. Riven. Let her go, my father shouted. I don't take commands from you. I kept my hand clamped around her neck. I was so close to snapping her windpipe, I was completely consumed by rage. Riven, drop her. Her voice made me release my hold, and Tina collapsed to the floor coughing and struggling to breathe. I turned to face Ariella. Ariella, I'm sorry. She shook her head. You're blaming everyone else for the fact that I can't stand you, everyone except yourself. I don't want you to hate me. I've tried everything I could. I'm done now. She turned to leave, but I wasn't about to let her walk away again, so I rushed over and cornered her against the wall. I'm not letting you leave me again. She looked up at me. That's all you've been doing, you pushed me away every time. I don't want to get betrayed again. I don't know who did that to you before or what they did, but I hate you more for thinking I'd ever hurt you. Now move aside. No. Her eyes shifted to a faint red, meaning she was beginning to lose her temper. Riven, get away from me. I'm done trying to get through to you. I'm not moving. I could tell she was about to swing at me, so I grabbed both her wrists. I didn't want to deal with more physical pain. Stop trying to hit me, Ariella. Then get off of me, now. I leaned in closer until I could feel her lips just touching mine. Can I kiss you? She didn't answer, so I took that as permission. I moved in closer until our lips touched. I waited for her to stop me, but when she didn't, I deepened the kiss. I nibbled her bottom lip gently, and she slowly allowed me access. Our tongues met, and since she didn't pull away, I kept going. I let go of her wrists and felt her hands move into my hair, and I groaned from the sensation. That seemed to excite her even more because she grabbed my shirt and pulled me closer, closer than I even thought possible. I eventually broke the kiss, and she opened her eyes slowly, revealing they had turned jet black. "Why'd you do that?" I rested my forehead against hers. She shut her eyes, probably to calm herself down, and when she opened them again, they were back to normal. "You're my mate. I can't stop myself from loving you." "Then why won't you?" I sighed and pulled back slightly. "It's complicated. Let's just say, I don't trust easily. And you're in love with someone else. I don't do long-distance relationships. He's not my boyfriend. You told him you loved him over the phone. You heard that?" I nodded. I couldn't lie to him. I still love him. But now I've found the one I'm destined for. I can't give you the kind of love you want from me. Then don't love me at all, it'll save us both the pain. She pushed me away and headed back into the house. I ran both hands through my hair. This is all Lucy's fault. She's the reason I don't trust, the reason I can't give Ariella the love she deserves. Lucy. Yeah, she still lived in the pack house. My dad wouldn't let me kick her out. I really wish he had, then I wouldn't have to deal with her presence. Lucy walked into the pool room, and I stared at her with hatred. "Yes, Alpha. Go to my office. Now." She gave a small nod and headed toward my study. I marched behind her. She went in and sat down while I stormed in and took my seat. "Did I do something wrong, Alpha?" I gave a cold laugh. No, I did." She looked puzzled, so I continued. "I should have expelled you from the pack the moment I had the chance. I regret what I did, but it was last year. I don't care if it was a year ago or a decade, it doesn't matter. I gave you my complete trust, and you destroyed it. I was stupid for doing what I did." "Yeah, you were. But guess what? I'm finally going to do what I should have done back then." She started shaking her head. "Alpha, please. I officially remove you from the Shadow Valley pack. You're banned from this land. If I catch you here again, I won't hesitate to kill you. Pack your things and get out of my sight. Riven, please. This is my home. You should have thought of that before betraying me. I'll do anything, just let me stay. Leave my office. Leave the pack house. And never come back. Do I make myself clear?" Her tear-covered face nodded, and she got up and walked out. I felt a wave of relief wash over me as she left. "Riven?" I looked up to see my dad standing in the doorway. "Yeah, Dad?" Why was Lucy crying? I kicked her out of the pack. He looked stunned. "Why would you do that?" I realized what she did was unforgivable. And her living here just made it worse. Now that she's gone, I can finally care for Ariella without her getting in the way. It's not Lucy's fault you don't want to love Ariella. I felt my rage rise again. You might be my father, but as Alpha, I have the right to exile you too if you side with her. Don't think I won't. He looked at me with slight fear in his eyes, because he knew I wasn't bluffing. I'm not taking her side, son. Just saying. Well, don't. She's gone. That's the end of it. Now do me a favor and bring Ariella to me. He nodded and left the room. Not even 5 minutes later, Ariella stood in the doorway. What is it now, Riven? Haven't you hurt me enough for one day? Her words hit like a punch, and I motioned for her to sit. To my surprise, she did. She sat across from me. I'm sorry for how I've been, Ariella. She shook her head. That's not good enough. What if I said I'm ready to take things slow? Explain. I let out a long breath. It's a long story, but this girl, Lucy, she broke me in so many ways. That's why I've been afraid to love you. But I've just banished her from the pack. So she's gone now, completely out of my life. What does that have to do with me? I reached across the desk and took her hand. I want to accept you as my mate. Is that right? I nodded. I'm sorry for how I acted before. But now I want to make it up to you. She gave a sly grin. Really? I nodded. Then start by begging for forgiveness. You're serious? Unless you want me calling Kaelith again. I could grab my phone right now. I cut her off, growling. No. You're mine. Only mine. Then do what I asked. As her mate, and as the future alpha female, I had no choice but to obey. I walked around to where she sat and got down on my knees. Ariella, I'm really sorry for everything I've done. I truly regret it. Please forgive me. Maybe. You did reject me, and that kind of pain doesn't disappear easily. But I'll give you a chance to prove yourself. I stood. What do you mean? I mean I accept your apology. But until you show me that you mean it, that you truly accept me, we should keep our distance. But how can I prove it to you if I can't be around you? She stood too. Figure it out, Alpha. She gave my cheek a quick pat before walking out of my office. I slumped into my chair and ran my hands through my hair. The pack ceremony is tonight. That's my chance. I have to prove it to her then, big time. Chapter 4. Ariella's POV. Do we really have to go? Yes, Ariella. It's a ceremony. So? Can't I just skip it? We're all attending. End of discussion. I let out a long sigh as my mum finished styling my hair. I didn't even understand why I was getting all dressed up for this event. It wasn't like it meant anything to me. Carrie, quit frowning. I forced a fake smile, and my mum gave a small nod. She motioned for me to check myself out in the mirror, but I simply walked out of the room. I already knew she did a great job. She always did whenever there was something formal going on. I made my way downstairs to join my dad and brother, who both smiled the second they saw me. You look amazing, Carrie. Thanks, Talon. You look good too, trying to impress some girls tonight? He just gave me a wink, and I laughed before turning to my dad. Hi, Dad. You look stunning, sweetheart. Thanks. Mum worked her magic. That I did, my mum said as she came into the living room and wrapped her arm around my dad's waist. He pulled her in with his arm across her shoulder. I think it's time we head out. Wouldn't want to be late for our own ceremony, my dad said. I smiled, and we all headed outside and walked toward the location where the event was happening. I hadn't seen Riven since leaving his office, and thank goodness for that. I wasn't sure I could even look at him right now. I was still mad, which is why I told him he wouldn't get my forgiveness unless he showed he really meant to accept me as his mate. I must have been lost in my thoughts because suddenly we were already at the ceremony, and I was surprised by how large the crowd was. Ah, and here come the stars of the night. The Casella family, Riven announced loudly, making everyone turn to face us. Now, I'm not scared of crowds or anything, but the way every single person stared at us as we walked in made me feel awkward, so I kept my gaze on the ground. They will be joining the pack, and this ceremony is to officially welcome them to all of you. I looked up, and of course Riven winked at me, which made me blush harder. Ugh. Stupid Alpha. First up, we have Luther Casella, he said as my dad gave a polite wave. Then Teresa Casella, my mum smiled sweetly. Next is Talon Casella, who winked at a few girls, causing me to roll my eyes. And finally, we have my mate, Ariella Casella. I lifted my hand to wave but froze halfway as I realized what he just said. He called me his mate. Crap. You're what? I looked at my dad and saw how furious he looked, then glanced at the rest of the crowd. All of them had shocked expressions. He wasn't supposed to say that. I let out a growl toward Riven and turned, storming back to the pack house. If he thought that dropping the mate bomb in front of the entire pack and my parents would earn him forgiveness, he was way off. Ariella. I halted and turned back. What do you want now, Riven? What did I do wrong? You told me to prove I was serious about accepting you, and I did. I didn't mean shout it out to the entire pack and my family. You're a complete idiot. I didn't know. I only wanted everyone to know you're mine. And that's how you chose to do it? Are you freaking serious? He stepped toward me, and I stepped back. I'm sorry. I shook my head. You've said that way too many times. He tried to get closer again, but I lifted my hand to stop him. Don't take another step. He winced at how I sounded. Please, don't walk away. I turned without another word. I needed space. I broke into a run, shifting into my wolf form without a second thought. I didn't care about my torn clothes, I just had to get away. I dashed into the forest, not even glancing back at Riven. I was too mad to think clearly, and I had to let it out. Riven, POV. She transformed and bolted into the trees, and all I could do was stand there, watching her disappear. I thought about chasing after her but knew it would only make things worse. She was furious already, and pushing her would only escalate it. I turned and slowly walked back to the pack house. Sure, the ceremony was still happening, but without Ariella there, none of it really mattered. Once I got inside, I went straight up to my bedroom. But when I opened the door, I saw Francesca sprawled across my bed. Let's just say she had a reputation in the pack, and it wasn't a flattering one. Francesca, why are you in my room? She sat up and gave me a smile. I saw what happened with your little girlfriend and figured you could use some company. She's my mate. She was just upset. Didn't seem that way to me. Well, it was exactly that. Yeah, sure it was. She stood and walked over to me, grabbing my shirt and tugging me closer. What are you doing? I asked, confused. She doesn't need to know. She spun me around and shoved me onto the bed. I lay there stunned. I should have stopped her right away, but my body didn't move, I was too shocked. She moved in closer and climbed on top of me. Francesca, stop. Then push me away. But for some reason, my arms just wouldn't respond. Didn't think so, she whispered. She bent down to kiss me, and I still didn't stop her. This was the kind of thing I used to do before Ariella showed up in my world, so it didn't feel like much at first, but now, I have a mate, I shouldn't be doing this. Riven? I jerked away from Francesca and looked toward the door where Ariella was standing, staring at us both with a mix of hurt and fury, but mostly fury. In an instant, she yanked Francesca off me and shoved her into the wall, almost exactly like I had done with Tina before. Why do you have your hands on my mate? She yelled. He looked like he needed cheering up, Francesca gasped out. Ariella growled low in her throat. Don't try me. I figured I needed to step in now, so I got up. Let her go, Ariella. She turned her gaze to me, and I instinctively stepped back. Her entire face was filled with rage. Don't you dare use your alpha command on me. I let out a breath. Babe, just let her go. She's not worth it. Exile her. I stared at her, stunned. I can't do that. So you're defending her now? I shook my head quickly. No, of course not. It's just, she technically hasn't broken any rules. You're right, she said while loosening her grip, and Francesca bolted from the room like her life depended on it. Ariella turned to me. You're the one who messed up. Calm down, sweetheart. Don't call me that. You think you can sneak around kissing other girls and not get caught? It wasn't like that. She made the first move. I didn't see you stopping her. I'm your mate. You are my mate. She stormed up to me, and I backed up quickly until I hit the wall behind me. Am I? I nodded. Then explain why you were tangled up with her. I wasn't all over her. She came on to me, I'd never betray you like that. But you just did. I grabbed both her wrists and spun us around so she was now the one pressed against the wall instead of me. Just listen to me, Ariella. No. I'm done listening. Is this how you felt when someone stabbed you in the back? Is it? Yes. I'm sorry. She came onto me and I froze. I was too shocked to push her away, but I swear, I didn't kiss her first. Her rage hadn't faded, but now tears were running down her face. I hate you so much. I flinched. You don't mean that. I do. I hate you for making me like you so quickly. I exhaled in relief. So, you like me? You hurt me badly, and I still like you. I smiled a little. I like you too. It doesn't matter. I looked at her, puzzled. Why not? Because I don't want you to speak to me anymore. Why? You don't deserve a mate like me, she growled, and I sighed. I know, but I still want you as my mate, Carrie. Don't call me that. All right. Ariella, I want you as my mate. Well, I don't want someone who purposely causes me pain. I don't mean to hurt you. Her eyes had returned to their normal color now. But you do. Kaelith never treated me this way. I felt the rage rise in me the moment she mentioned his name, but I pushed it back down. Please, give me another chance. She shook her head, more tears falling from her eyes. I can't keep getting hurt, Riven. I've been here for 2 days and you've already caused me more pain than anyone ever has. I'm done. I'm sorry. She shoved me away from her and turned to leave. I reached for her wrist one more time. I'm not letting you go. You're too late. She pulled her wrist out of my grasp and walked out of the room. I groaned loudly and punched another hole through my wall. That's 3 screw-ups now, and it's going to take some serious pleading to fix it. Riven. I spun around to face the door. What is it, Torin? One of the Omegas spotted Lucy on our land. I growled low in my chest. Do you have her? He nodded. Take me to her. He turned and left, and I followed him closely. We stepped outside into the yard and saw her being restrained by 2 Omegas, with other wolves standing around. Now that's the kind of protection I like to see. I told you what would happen if you showed your face here again, Lucy. Riven, please. I just wanted to say goodbye. You had your chance. You're trespassing now, and you know how we deal with intruders. I'm sorry. I'll leave, I swear, I won't come back. Just don't kill me. Enough. I roared. I've heard more than enough from you. What would your mate think? Knowing you're a killer? Leave my mate out of this. She's got a point though. I turned toward the house again, only to find Ariella standing at the back door. If you kill her, I'll despise you with everything I have. I loathe murderers. And I loathe invaders, traitors, liars, cheaters, I growled, turning back toward Lucy. Manipulators, deceivers, people who toy with your emotions, all of which you are. I loathe you. Lucy flinched as I shouted, and I was so close to shifting, I was seething. Riven, control yourself, now. Because Ariella was my mate, her words had power over me. I obeyed and forced myself to relax. I shut my eyes, took several deep breaths, and waited until I calmed down completely. When I opened my eyes again, Torin gave me a worried look. What do you want us to do with her? Ariella stepped closer and took my hand in hers. Escort her off the property. Make sure she's gone, and that's an order. Yes, alpha female. They nodded and walked her off toward the woods, keeping a tight watch on her. I turned toward Ariella, puzzled. Don't give me that expression, Riven. I like holding your hand a lot, but I'm still really confused. I figured out that you need me more than you think. We help each other stay strong. If I didn't come down today, you probably would have hurt her really badly, right? I hate to admit it, but yeah, you're right, Exactly. And even though I'm still mad at you, really mad, I still want to stay with you. I smiled. So, you're giving me a chance? She nodded. Yeah, I am. I turned to her, picked her up, and she giggled, wrapping her legs around my waist. Thank you so much. Just don't ruin it, okay? I nodded. I won't mess up again. I promise. I bent down and kissed her, and like always, I felt that spark run through me. I gently bit her bottom lip, and she didn't stop me. Maybe that meant she wasn't so angry anymore, which was good for me. Alpha. I slowly pulled away from Ariella and looked toward the door. It was Luther. Yes? I want to talk to my daughter. It's probably about me too, so I'll come with. He nodded and walked inside. You can let me down now. Nope. I like holding you like this. I carried her inside the house and into the sitting room. Luther, Teresa, and my mum were sitting there really quiet. Did someone die? They all looked up. No. Then what's going on? I don't mean to be rude, but I have alpha work to do and I want to spend some time with my mate. Ariella turned red and hid her face in my chest. No offense, but this is very improper for someone in your position. I frowned at Luther. Don't tell me what is or isn't okay. The way you just spoke to me is what's wrong. I'm your alpha. Talk to me the right way. He nodded. Sorry. Ariella unwrapped her legs from around me, and I gently let her feet touch the floor. I walked to the couch and sat down, and she sat next to me. What did you want to talk about? Teresa cleared her throat. We just want to know why you didn't tell us you were her mate. As her parents, we should have been told. That's true, but it wasn't my place to say anything. He's right, Mum. And the way he told everyone in front of the whole pack made it even worse, she said with gritted teeth. Yep, still mad. Yeah, that wasn't a good way to hear it. Blame this dummy sitting next to me. She smacked me on the head. Ow. What was that for? That's for saying we're mates in front of everyone. She smacked me again. That's for not asking me first. Then a third time. And that's for everything else. I rubbed the back of my head. That actually hurt, Ariella. That was the point. She gave me a quick kiss. Now half my anger is gone. I smiled and looked at our parents to see them smiling too. So, you've accepted it now? I nodded. After she begged me. She hit me again. Ow. Okay, fine. After I realized I hurt her a lot, I asked her to give me a chance, and she said yes. She leaned her head on my shoulder, and suddenly the pain in my head didn't seem so bad. Well, just don't hurt her again. She's still my little girl. I shook my head. I won't hurt her. She hits pretty hard, anyway. She raised her hand like she was going to smack me again, so I quickly grabbed her arms and kissed her. I'm kidding, sweetheart. She smiled and kissed me back, and then I let go of her arms. Riven. I turned my head. Now what, Torin? We caught Francesca. What do you want us to do with her? I looked at Ariella. Her eyes were full of anger. I'll handle her, she said, every word sharp and serious. Yes, alpha female. She stood up and followed Torin, and I knew right away. I had to go after her. This wasn't going to end well. Chapter 5. Ariella's point of view. I walked behind Torin all the way outside. Francesca was now standing where Lucy used to be. I couldn't stop the angry growl that came out of my mouth. Well, 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 look who we have here. She stared at me with scared eyes. What are you going to do to me? You'd really like to know, huh? I stepped closer. Someone needs to teach you what it means to stay in your lane. I'm really sorry. I laughed, but it didn't sound happy. You think saying sorry is enough? You forced yourself on my mate. I didn't mean to. Oh wow, this just keeps getting more interesting. I stepped even closer and grabbed her hair. You know what this means? She shook her head. I leaned in and said softly, "You're getting kicked out." I let go of her hair and stepped back, and that's when she began begging. "No, please. Don't throw me out. I've learned my lesson." I shook my head. "No, I don't think you really have." Riven. He was at my side in a blink. "Yes? What's the worst punishment besides kicking someone out or killing them? Going without food." "Oh really?" He nodded. "You're thinking of doing that? Isn't that a little too much? Don't ruin what we've got by acting like she's the victim, Riven. You know what? Let's make this easy." I turned to Francesca and the rest of the wolves. "How about we play a game of Chase the Wolf?" They all looked confused, so I explained. "Francesca gets to run and hide for one whole day. After that, we all go after her. If we don't find her by the end of the week, she's safe and can come back. But if we do, well, you'll see what happens." The wolves let Francesca go. She turned into her wolf and ran straight into the forest. I smiled. Let the fun begin. I looked at the wolves again. "You're all free to go." They nodded and went back to whatever they were doing. I felt an arm go around my waist, which made me feel calm right away. "You really like being alpha female, don't you?" I just did what needed to be done. "She's lucky I didn't kick her out for real." "Well, technically, you did." "Yeah, but this is more exciting. Now where's that other girl who had her hands on you?" "Tina?" "Yes, her. I think she needs a little reminder to keep her hands to herself." He turned me around and put his hands on my hips. "I love how you want me all to yourself. I don't like sharing." "Same here." I smiled, and just as he leaned in to kiss me, we were stopped, again. "Alpha." "Oh come on, what now?" We turned to look at Charlie, one of our warriors. "Alistair Knight is here." "What? The leader of the Dark Moon Pack?" He nodded, and I growled. "Why is he here?" "You know him, Ariella?" I nodded. "He's Kaelith, Dad." Riven growled, probably just because I said Kaelith's name. "Take us to him. He said he only wants to talk to the alpha." "I don't care what he wants. She's the alpha female. If he doesn't like it, he can leave my land right now." "Yes, alpha." He turned around and Riven grabbed my hand. We followed him to where the visitor was. We stepped into Riven's office and saw Alistair staring at the pictures on the wall. "I smell another scent." "Hello to you too, Alistair." He looked at me and gave a mean smile. "Well, look who it is. The little troublemaker." Riven growled. "Don't talk about her like that. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm here to talk with the alpha." I didn't like how he said alpha so strongly, like I wasn't one too. I had to say something. "Well, we're both alphas, so go ahead." He looked shocked. "He's your mate?" I nodded. "Do you have a problem with that?" He tried to hide his fear and went back to his normal smug face. "And here I thought you really loved my son. Turns out you're just a tramp, huh?" That's when Riven lost it. His eyes turned red and he jumped at Alistair, slamming him to the floor. "You think you can come here and talk to my mate like that? Don't forget where you are. This is my land, and I can do whatever I want to you. Do you understand?" Alistair nodded fast, looking scared. Riven stood up and came back over to me. He kissed the side of my head, and I leaned on him. "What are you here for?" Alistair stood up and fixed his clothes. "I've heard that your pack members have been coming onto my land." "That's not true. You live almost an hour away. Tell them that. I've waited and been quiet long enough. If I see one more, I'm not waiting, I'll kill them. If you do that, then you're starting a fight between our packs." If that's what happens, then fine. Alistair. He looked at me. I kept talking. Kaelith wouldn't want you starting a fight. My son isn't alpha. He can't stop me. You won't be alpha for much longer. Then tell your little boyfriend to keep his pack off my land and there won't be any trouble. Call me her little boyfriend again. I dare you. He looked a little worried, but still tried to act bold. You probably just want to sleep with her anyway, right? I swear if you say one more thing about Ariella, I'll hurt you so bad it'll still ache next year. You probably don't know that she still cares about my son. She'll never have feelings for you. Well, that really set Riven off, because just like that, he changed into his wolf form. And I know it's not the best time to say this, but even as a wolf, he looked amazing. His fur was black with little white dots, and his eyes were bright blue. Simply put, he looked magical. Anyway, back to what was happening. Riven jumped at Alistair and bit his leg. I could actually hear the bone crack. I mean, he did warn him. Ah. You bastard. He told you, Alistair. But no, you never listen. You always have to talk last. Alistair screamed in pain, and honestly, I didn't feel bad for him at all. Boys. In less than 60 seconds, 3 guys came into the room. Take him off our land. I don't want to see him again. They nodded and grabbed him. You'll regret this. Screw you. They walked out, and I turned to Riven. You can turn back now. He made a gesture for me to turn around, and I did. I heard drawers opening and closing for a while. Okay, I'm done. I turned around and saw him dressed again. You keep clothes in drawers? He nodded. For times like this. Though maybe I shouldn't have done it. I looked confused. Why not? Our packs aren't exactly friendly. But that's my old pack. I didn't even know that. We were never really close. Just sort of knew each other. Now, we're likely enemies. Forget him. He acts tough, but I've known him a long time. He's not really who he pretends to be. I still need to be alert. I won't let anything happen to my pack. He had a serious look for a while, then it faded. Alright, I've called a pack meeting. They should be gathering out back now. How did you do that so fast? Mind link. Can I do it too? Yeah, you're part of the pack now. Try it. I focused hard and tried sending a message to Riven in my thoughts. Hi Riven. Hello Ariella. I cut the link and stared at him, shocked. Wow, it really worked. You've never done that before? I shook my head. Never thought I had to. Well, I've got a few fun ways to use it. He gave me a cheeky grin, and I didn't get it until he sent another message into my head. I've been naughty lately, Ariella. Why don't we skip the meeting and you come punish me in my room? He said in a flirty voice. I gasped. I was about to smack him, but realized he had already left the room. I followed the sound of his laughter outside into the garden. Naughty boy. He laughed in my head. Sassy girl. I smiled and walked to where he was. He put his arm around my waist and looked at everyone. Quiet. Everyone stopped talking and turned to look at Riven. Before I explain why I called this meeting, I want everyone to know, yes, Ariella is your new alpha female. You will treat her with respect. Do I make myself clear? Yes, alpha, everyone said at once. I was surprised at how much power Riven had. Good. Now I've been told that some of my pack members have been going on to Dark Moon's land. I want to know who. No one stepped up, so he went on. If you don't come forward now, I will find you later and there will be consequences. That did the trick. 8 people stepped out. It was us. I've told you over and over not to step on someone else's land. And yet you still broke that rule? They jumped a little at his voice. We're really sorry, Alpha. You should be. And don't act like this only happened once. I hate rule breakers. And you did it on another pack's land? I've had enough. I knew he was about to do something big, so I placed my hands on his face. The moment he looked at me, his eyes changed back to normal. Calm down. They're just kids. They didn't know better. I've told them so many times, and they still disobeyed me. I know, but maybe they thought it was harmless. Let me handle it. He nodded. I dropped my hands and turned to the 8 kids. Want to tell us why you went there in the first place? One of them nodded. We just wanted to see what it was like. The first time was fun, so we went again. And again. We weren't trying to break the Alpha's rule. But you did. And breaking an Alpha's rule has a price, do you get that? They all nodded. We do. We're very sorry. I sighed. Riven and I will talk about what to do. For now, step back. They moved away, and I turned to speak to the whole pack. I know most of you don't know me. Maybe you don't even want to accept me as your alpha female, and that's fine. But I'd like to get to know each of you, if you'll let me. The crowd nodded. I smiled and let Riven speak again. I now give a clear order, stay off the Dark Moon Pack's land. If I find out anyone goes there again, you'll be punished. Do you understand me? Yes, Alpha. Dismissed. The crowd scattered in different directions, and Riven turned to me with a proud grin. You did amazing out there, Carrie. I gave a small smile. I was honestly kind of anxious. Anxious? You looked like a pro, honestly, even better than I did. Well yeah, even I noticed that. He chuckled and wrapped his arms around my waist. I don't think anyone's going to stop us now. Then kiss me. He leaned in, and for once, no one barged in. He gently bit my lower lip, and I teased him by holding back at first, but he grew impatient. So I let him in, and somehow, he managed to pour so much emotion into the kiss while still keeping it tender and smooth. It amazed me, and I loved every second. I broke the kiss. A new record. He smiled. Yeah? I could have sworn the one in your room lasted longer. Think we can beat it? I lightly hit his chest. You're such a perv. It's not pervy if you're my girlfriend. I lifted an eyebrow. I don't remember you asking me to be your girlfriend. You're my mate. That automatically makes you my girl. Fine, don't ask, but then don't expect me to keep kissing you. I turned and started heading for the kitchen, but then I paused when I heard him call out. Ariella Casella, will you be my girlfriend? I spun around and went back outside to see him down on one knee with a grin on his face. So, what's your answer? I grinned and nodded. Of course, I'll be your girlfriend. He got up and came over to kiss me. I wrapped my arms around his neck and after pulling away, I looked into his eyes. Did your parents tell you that school starts tomorrow? I start what? I'll take that as a no then. You start 6th form tomorrow. But don't worry, I go to the same one. I'll get transferred into all your classes. Why? So I can keep tabs on some of the boys. I'm not letting anyone drool over my girl. And what about me? Bet there'll be loads of girls eyeing my boyfriend. Probably, but I've got you now. And you're way hotter than all of them. I bit my lip and blushed. Riven leaned in to kiss me again. God, that lip bite is so sexy, he murmured against my mouth. I just smiled into his lips and kissed him again. I'm nervous about school tomorrow, but I know it'll be fun. Now that I have Riven, I'll be keeping a close watch on any girl who dares flirt with my mate. Chapter 6. Ariella's POV. I stepped out of my room with a knot of anxiety in my chest. Today's the first day of school, and even though I've been to school before, this feels different. I feel like a tiny kid going to nursery for the first time, or maybe even worse. As I walked down the stairs, my nerves climbed higher. I already had butterflies in my stomach and I hadn't even left the house. Ariella, are you alright? I looked up and met Riven's piercing blue eyes. Instantly, most of the nerves melted away. I'm just a little nervous. He walked over and pulled me into his arms. Don't be. I'll be with you all day. Though, just a heads up, I'm kinda popular. So girls might be staring. Oh crap. His face went alert. What? What's wrong? Your ego just inflated. He smirked. That wasn't even funny, Carrie. I grinned. I thought it was. But seriously, I get it. Of course they'll stare, you're good looking. But you're taken. That I am. He leaned down to kiss me but, again, we got cut off. Time for school. My brother ran out of the kitchen, munching on toast, and I just laughed. Why are you so hyped? There'll be hot girls, duh. Who wouldn't be excited about that? I rolled my eyes. Whatever. I turned to Riven. Is it an all-shifter school? He shook his head. Sadly, no. So you'll need to keep your emotions in check. Don't blow your cover. Don't worry, my old school was the same. I managed fine. He kissed my lips quickly. Then today I'll be no problem. Do I look okay? Is this top too much? I really want to leave a good impression, Anne. He cut me off by kissing me, and honestly, at that moment I didn't care how I looked. But I still wanted to hear his thoughts, so I pulled back. Riven, I mean it. You look great, Carrie. Actually, no, you look stunning. As always. I blushed and looked down. Ariella, don't do that. I can't help it, I whispered, shyly. He gently lifted my chin. I know. But when you do that, it drives my wolf crazy. He wants to claim you. Then stop making me blush. But you're adorable when you do. I smiled. Thanks. Let's head out. He took my hand and led me to the front of the pack house where his car, a Kia Optima, was parked. I'd seen it in ads before, but seeing it in person was something else. Whoa. He laughed. Don't just admire it, get in. I closed my mouth and climbed in, and wow, the inside was just as stunning. Leather seats, satin AV, seat warmers, everything my old car had. This just makes me miss my car. What did you drive? Kia Sportage. Where is it now? Left it with my old pack. No worries. I'll buy you another one. Don't even try to argue. I sighed and leaned back in the comfy leather seat, quiet. 15 minutes later. Riven pulled into the school parking lot. As soon as we stepped out, a group of girls swarmed him. So he wasn't lying, he really was popular. He looked caught up with his friends, so I decided to go find the front office and get my schedule. Problem was, I had no idea where that even was. You look a bit lost. Perfect timing. I turned around and saw a seriously good-looking guy. I mean, I've got a mate, but I can still recognize a good-looking person. What gave me away? Oh, nothing. Just seemed like you were wandering. I smiled. You're right. I just started today. I'm Eliastifi, but you can call me Elias. Ariella. Pretty name for a pretty girl. Flirting won't work. I've got a boyfriend. Where's he at, then? Touché. He grinned. Alright, no moves. Just let me help you find your schedule. Fine. I doubt I'd find it alone anyway. Follow me. He started walking, and I followed him quietly until we reached the front office. Excuse me? The woman at the desk glanced up. How can I assist you? I'm here for my class schedule. Name, please? Ariella Casella. She typed something into her computer and a few moments later, handed me a printed timetable. Thank you. You're welcome. Welcome to Riverside High. I turned to Elias. So, what are your classes? Let's see. English Lit, Psych, Biology, Politics, and English Language. Well, I've got first, third, and fifth periods with you. Lucky you, lesson 1 is just down the hall, so come on. He took my hand and practically pulled me to our class, full speed. Sorry we're late, sir. Why are you just getting here now? I was showing the new girl how to find her class list. Alright, sit down, Mr. Limier. He gave me a silly smile and walked to the back of the room. I was just about to sit too when the worst question came. So, do you want to tell everyone who you are? I groaned quietly and looked at the class. Well, I'm Ariella Casella, I have a twin brother named Talon, and I know how to play guitar. Welcome to Riverside High, Ariella. Sit wherever you like. I nodded and sat next to Elias since he kept pointing at the seat. Not even 10 minutes had passed when the trouble started. Sorry I'm late, sir. I looked up from my desk and saw Riven at the door, looking kind of mad. You're 10 minutes late, Mr. Kepler. Sit down and don't be late again. He gave a short nod and walked to Elias. Move. I looked at him with big eyes, surprised. Elias was about to stand, but I put my hand on his shoulder to stop him. Don't boss him around. Go find another seat. What if I don't want to? I'm not asking. I'm telling you. Go. He gave Elias a mean stare, but didn't argue. He walked away and sat 2 rows in front of us. How did you do that? I looked at Elias, puzzled. Do what? Make him listen. He's been here 3 years and never gives up like that. Oh, did I forget to say he's my boyfriend? That guy? I heard Riven growl because I have strong ears. I rolled my eyes. Yes, that guy. Wow, I never thought he'd have a girlfriend. Why not? He never sticks with anyone. He only uses girls for one thing. I didn't know that. Well, now you do. Just wanted you to know. I smiled, then my phone buzzed with a message. Riven, why are you talking to him? Ariella, because I feel like it. He's my friend. Is there a problem? Riven, yeah, there is. Ariella, you didn't see me complain when 20 girls were crowding around you. Riven, that's not the same. Ariella, forget you, Riven. We've been here less than 2 hours and you already forgot you have a girlfriend. I hit send and turned my phone off. I wasn't in the mood. I put it in my pocket and looked back at the teacher. Lunch. Ariella, wait. I kept walking, even though I didn't know where I was going. I'm sorry. I stopped and turned to face him. Oh, now you're sorry? He nodded. After 4 hours, you're finally sorry? I don't believe you. I shook my head and kept walking until he grabbed my wrist, making me stop. Ariella, please listen. There's nothing to listen to, Riven. You chose to hang around a bunch of girls instead of helping your own girlfriend find her class. I don't even know why I gave you a chance. He looked like my words hurt. Don't say that. What do you want me to say? That you're the best boyfriend ever? That I'm lucky? No, Riven. Just, no. I pulled my hand away and walked off, and then I felt a hand on my shoulder. Lost again? I smiled and nodded. We were about to walk when Riven ran over and punched him. Don't touch her. He kept hitting him and I had to step in. Riven. Stop it. He stopped, and I pushed him off Elias so I could check on him. Elias, are you okay? He wiped his nose. Yeah, I'm alright, thanks. I looked at Riven. Don't talk to me for the rest of the day. Go back to those girls from before, because I really don't want to see you right now. I helped Elias up and we walked past Riven. Do you want to see the nurse or something? He shook his head. I'm fine, really. Let's just go to the lunchroom. I'll introduce you to my friends. I nodded and let him lead me. When we entered, it looked like every regular school lunchroom. The sporty kids sat together, the smart ones had their own spot, the kids dressed in black were at another table, and the rest were all spread around. You coming? I stopped staring and followed Elias to a table with normal-looking people. So everyone, this is Ariella. Ariella, this is Lyle, he waved. Leora, she smiled. Christina, she waved. And last is Ashton. He winked and I rolled my eyes. Hi everyone. Sit down. I sat between Lyle and Leora. Elias sat across from me. So, Ariella, is today your first day? I nodded. Yeah. Do you like it so far? I shrugged. It's okay, I guess. Oh, trouble's coming. I looked at Christina, confused. I turned to see what she was talking about and, yep, there was Riven walking over. I groaned. Ariella, can we talk for a second? I shook my head. Say what you have to say right now. The whole lunchroom went quiet. I stood up, waiting. He sighed. Can we do this alone? Then it must not be important. I went to sit back down, but he turned me around and kissed me. Everyone gasped and started whispering. I pulled away. Say it. He pressed his forehead to mine. I'm sorry, and I'll never do that again. I gave him a little kiss. You better not. He smiled and held my hand. When we looked up, the whole room was staring. All right, show's over. No one moved, so Riven shouted, she said show's over. Look away. Everyone looked away fast. I was shocked. He really had that much power here. I turned back to Elias and the others. They looked amazed. Are you serious? That's your boyfriend? I nodded. Yep, he is. He put his arm around me, and I leaned into him. Well, I guess you'll sit with the sporty kids and their girlfriends now. Nope. I don't fit in there. Riven can if he wants, but I'm staying here. No. I lifted one eyebrow at Riven. What did you just say? No, I mean I'll stay here with you. Yeah, I already knew that's what you meant. I sat on the chair, but Riven picked me up and placed me on his lap instead. You two look really sweet together. I smiled. Thanks, I'm obviously the pretty one in this couple. They all laughed. I agree, she is the pretty one between us. I smiled again and leaned back into Riven. Even though it's only the first day of school, I feel like something big is going to happen soon. I don't know why, I just feel it. But whatever it is, I'll be ready. Chapter 7. Ariella sighed. It's the 5th day of school and everything has been going pretty okay, if I say so myself. Me and Elias hang out a lot, and Riven joins us sometimes. But every time Riven sees me and Elias together, he starts acting super jealous. Mli Casella, vous écoutez? Miss Casella, are you listening? French class. I don't even know why I have this subject. I'm terrible at French. I replied, oui monsieur, continuer. Yes sir, keep going. He gave me a warning look and went on with the lesson. I went back to daydreaming. Like I was saying, Riven always gets jealous. I told him nothing is going on between me and Elias, but he keeps saying he doesn't trust him. Even if Elias liked me like that, I don't feel that way about him. Riven should trust me and not think that Elias is planning something on me. Those were Riven's exact words. Mli Casella, dernière chance. Miss Casella, last chance. I nodded. Désolé monsieur, j'écouterai. Sorry sir, I'll listen. Bon. Good. He kept teaching, and I didn't want to get in trouble again, so I tried to pay attention. 40 minutes later. Finally free. That class felt like it was forever. Like I said, I suck at French. Mr. Hamier doesn't like me. He kept asking me questions I didn't understand. I only knew a few words, so I couldn't answer well. Then he got mad like it was my fault. I'm good at English, not French. Bonjour, Belle. Hello, beautiful. I turned to Elias. Please stop with the French, I just got out of that class. 1 hour was too much. He laughed. I guess French isn't your thing? I shook my head. It's my worst subject. Got it. You ready for our next class? Lead the way. I linked my arm with his and we walked together to our next class, maths. Usually, I love maths because I'm great at it, but not today. Because Elias is in this class, and so are my brother and Riven, two overprotective werewolf guys who watch me like I'm doing something bad when I'm with Elias. We walked into maths and I sat down in the middle of Riven and Elias. Hey babe. I looked at Riven and gave him a small kiss. Hi. I don't want you hanging out with that guy anymore, he said in my head. I don't care what you want. You don't own me. Well, I sort of do. Riven, if you say that again while we're together, there won't be an us, got it? Whatever. Someone tapped my shoulder. It was my brother. Is something wrong? I nodded. He's being mean. Riven let out a low growl and sent another thought. I'm not being mean, Ariella. We're mates, and you're all friendly with another guy. I didn't think you'd sink that low. Those words hit me hard, like a sharp knife in my chest. Did he really think I was doing bad things with Elias? I raised my hand. Yes, Ariella. Can I go to the bathroom, please? She nodded. Yes, you may. I stood up and kept my head down as I walked out, not wanting anyone to see the tears in my eyes. Once I got out of sight, I ran straight to the bathroom and locked myself in one of the stalls. That's when the tears came out. All of them. I couldn't believe Riven said that to me. I didn't know he thought such bad things about me. And the worst part? He didn't come after me. He didn't even say sorry. That's what hurt the most. I don't think I can stay with someone who thinks I'd ever do that, especially someone who's supposed to be my mate. He needs to hear that. I wiped my tears and left the bathroom without looking in the mirror. I walked back to class with my head still down and sat in my seat. Ariella. Riven reached for my hand, but I moved it away. Don't touch me, I said through clenched teeth. He flinched a little from how angry I sounded. I'm sorry. So am I. We're done, Riven. I'm done with you and with this relationship. I can't stay with someone who thinks so little of me. Don't say that. You know I didn't mean it. Well, I did. It's over. I moved away from him and sat on the other side of Elias. He gave me a small smile, and I was thankful. He didn't ask questions. I didn't want to talk, not with Riven sitting 3 seats away. Ariella? I looked up. Yes, miss? Which one should we use? She pointed at the board. We were doing trigonometry. I was good at this. None of those. It's Pythagoras' theorem. We don't need trigonometry. Very well done. I smiled a little and looked down at my desk. It had become very interesting all of a sudden. Lunch. Why did he say that? I shook my head, honestly, Elias, I don't know. He just thinks something is going on between us. But it's not. Exactly. But he doesn't believe me, and it really makes me upset. He could tell I was getting sad, so he hugged me, and I started crying into his shirt. Shoo, Ariella, it's okay. But it's not, Elias. He thinks I'm doing something bad when I'm not. Then that's his mistake. He just lost a really great girl. Flirting won't fix it. He chuckled, and I felt his chest move when he laughed. I had to try. I smiled, there it is. I looked at him confused. What? That pretty smile, that's what I wanted to see. I smiled again. Well, you do make me smile a lot. Of course I do. I'm super funny. I playfully hit his arm. You're so full of yourself. He laughed, but you didn't say I'm not funny. Whatever. See? You don't need Riven. But I do need him. And just like that, I started crying again. You don't, Carrie. Do you want to talk to him? I don't even want to see him. Then don't turn around. I listened and kept my head on Elias's chest, not looking back. Ariella. Elias answered for me, I don't think she wants to talk to you right now. I wasn't talking to you. Get your hands off my girl. I turned and pushed Riven away from Elias. I'm not your girl anymore. You lost me, remember? I'm not letting you break up with me. I already did. I don't agree. I raised my eyebrow. What are you, my dad? I'm your boyfriend. I cut him off. Wrong. You're my ex-boyfriend now. I don't care what you say, Ariella. I'm going to win you back. With the way you're acting, I really doubt that. That made him stop acting so sure of himself. His face changed, and he gently touched my cheek. I'll get you back, no matter what. I put my hand over his and moved it off my cheek. Good luck, Riven. But until you give me a real apology, I grabbed his shirt and pulled him close. I'm staying far away from you. He smirked. We'll see, baby. We'll see. He quickly kissed me on the lips and winked before walking off. I turned to Elias. He seems really serious. I sighed. He is. And I know he won't stop trying. Sounds like lunch is going to be interesting. I groaned, yeah, fun. He chuckled and linked his arm with mine, and we walked to the lunchroom. 20 minutes later. So, Ariella, what class do you have next? I looked up from my lunch and at Sam. Biology. That's cool. I have that too. What about you, Elias? What do you have? PE. Awwoo. I looked at Christina, confused. What was that for? Turn around. I gave her a funny look and turned around. Riven was standing on a table holding a big bunch of roses. Why does he always do big things in front of everyone? Everybody, listen up. The lunchroom went quiet. I'm doing this to say sorry to my girlfriend. X. I coughed loudly, but he just smiled at me. Ariella. I'm listening. I'm really sorry I said something bad before, and I hope these roses show how much you mean to me. Please forgive me. I heard a bunch of, aw, sounds from people around us, and I rolled my eyes. Please. I walked over and waved for him to lean down so I could whisper. You're going to have to do way more than that to win me back, I said while looking into his eyes. I'm not that easy. I took the flowers from his hands, gave him a wink, and walked away, grabbing Elias's arm as we left the lunchroom. That was awesome. I laughed. He has to know what he said wasn't okay. I'm going to make him really work to earn my forgiveness, even if he hates every second of it. Riven sighed. I can't believe she just walked away, and still took the flowers. I rubbed my hands through my hair and jumped down from the table. I needed a new plan. Fast. Tough luck, dude. Maybe she'll give me a shot, one of my friends, Rob, said. I glared at him. If you even look at her funny, I'll knock you out. He raised both hands. Relax, it was a joke. Well, don't joke. I just lost my girlfriend because I said something dumb, and you're making fun of it? Sorry, man. I won't joke again. You better not. So, is Ariella a better girlfriend than Lucy? My eyes turned red. I told you never to say her name around me. Didn't you understand that? They all pulled back. Sorry, I forgot. I closed my eyes and let them turn back to normal. My friends were all wolves, so I didn't have to hide that from them. I'm sorry. I'm just really not in a good mood. Derek, my other friend, put his hand on my shoulder. It's okay. We get it. But wow, you're really serious about Ariella, huh? I nodded. I am. She's everything to me. And I'm this close to losing her for good. We'll help you win her back. I stared. You guys really mean that? They all nodded. Just tell us what to do. I started thinking and made a plan. I told them everything I wanted to do and when I wanted to do it. I really hope it works, and that she doesn't just walk away again like last time. Chapter 8. Ariella's Side. Biology. The last class of the day, thank goodness. I don't think I could do another hour of school. 6 hours is enough for me. Ariella? I turned toward Elias. Yeah? What are you doing after school? Want to hang out? Sure. What do you want to do? Well, where do you want to go? Let's just walk and decide while we go. He smiled. That sounds good. I smiled and held his arm, and as we started walking down the hallway, I saw a bunch of people standing around something. Since I get curious easily, I wanted to go see what it was. I pulled Elias through the crowd, and when we got to the front, I gasped. Wow. I shook my head a little. He really won't stop, will he? We were both staring at a message spray painted on the school wall, one that I knew was meant for me. I knew because it said, Ariella, please forgive me. I rolled my eyes and pulled Elias away from it. I'm guessing you still haven't forgiven him? I shook my head. Not until I get a real apology. That's the only way I'll forgive him. He nodded and we kept walking down the main building's hallway until we saw another message that said, I'm really sorry, Carrie X. He's really trying, Ariella. I know, Elias, but what he said really hurt me. He didn't say anything, and we just kept walking out of the school building. We stepped outside, and then something surprising happened again. In front of us, Riven was down on one knee, holding more flowers. He was right in front of a Kia Sportage. I'm not marrying you, Riven. I'm not asking you to. Just let me talk. I sighed and turned to Elias. Should I listen to him? He shrugged. What's your head telling you? To walk away. And your heart? To hear what he has to say. There you go then. Listen to your heart, not your head. I smiled and kissed him on the cheek. Thanks. Anytime. I'll call you later to get all the tea. You sound like a girl. Love you too, girlfriend. I laughed and waved as he went to his car. Then I turned around to Riven. I walked over to him. You really just won't quit, will you? He shook his head. Not until you're mine again. I let out a breath. Flowers and cars won't fix this, Riven. What you said really cut deep. He stood up and put the roses on the car before turning back to me. I know. I didn't mean to say it. I was just really mad. That doesn't matter. You were mad, so you told me I was cheating? That's what hurt me. I didn't even know I was about to cry until tears came out. Don't cry. Please don't cry. You're the one making me cry, Riven. It's you. And I'm tired of it. He tried to hug me, but I pushed him back. No. Don't touch me. Ariella, please. We're supposed to be mates and you thought I was kissing someone else? I didn't say that. You didn't have to. You meant it. You can't just take that back. I'm really sorry. Then why did you say it? He put his hand in his hair. I was upset and thought you were going to hurt me. I got scared and said something stupid. I wasn't thinking at all. So you thought a fancy car and flowers would fix that? Do you think I care about stuff like that? You must think really low of me. I started to walk away, but then he said something that made me stop. I love you. I turned to look at him. He had tears in his eyes. You what? I love you. Please don't go. Please. He looked so sad. But before I said anything else, I needed to get a few things out. If you really loved me, you wouldn't have said those things. I know. I feel so bad. I don't even know what to do to fix it. I'll do anything. Then I think you owe Elias an apology. Anything to get you back. I walked closer and stared into his eyes. Say it again. He touched his forehead to mine. I love you. I smiled. I love you too. He smiled and wiped my tears with his thumb. I won't hurt you again, I pro. I stopped him. Don't make promises you can't keep. I'll keep this one. I shook my head. No, you won't. I know you too well. You're not good at promises. So just be quiet and kiss me. He smiled and leaned in to kiss me. It was full of feeling and love. But, of course, we got interrupted again. His phone rang. He pulled away and gave me an awkward smile, then answered. Hello? Yeah. Why is he there? I don't care what he wants. Why is he in my pack area? Kick him out. Okay, fine. We're coming back now. Don't lose sight of him, got it? Good. He hung up angrily, and I noticed his eyes were glowing red. I put my hand on his face. What's wrong? Nothing. Let's just go get in the car. I'm not getting in the car with you if you're going to act like this. Just get in the car, Ariella. I jumped and took a step back. Wow. Good thing you didn't make that promise, huh? That snapped him out of it. His eyes turned back to normal. I'm sorry. Stop saying that. It's so annoying. You say it too much, it doesn't even feel real anymore. Maybe you don't care when I say it. My eyes turned red and I pushed him against the car. Lucky for us, school was empty or people would have seen. Don't ever shout at me again. I'm nice, but if you yell at me one more time, you'll be sorry. I stepped away. Every time I forgive you, you mess up again. He sighed. I know. I didn't mean to yell. I'm just really mad. Then be mad at someone else. Don't take it out on the girl you love. And don't say sorry if it means nothing. He stepped forward and put his arms around my waist. I am sorry. Really. I gave him a soft kiss. Tell me what happened. He sighed. Kaelith is at the pack house. My eyes went wide. Kaelith, my old boyfriend? He nodded. Yeah, him. The one who still loves you. The one who doesn't even know you found your mate. Oh no. Ariella. I'm not allowing it. I don't care what you will and won't allow, he's staying, end of story, understand? I hate how much authority you have over me. Love you too, baby. He smiled and Kaelith growled, but I just ignored it. Boys, please show him to a spare room, at least 7 doors away from mine and Riven room. They all nodded and walked out of the room with Kaelith still in their grasp, and I looked at the other 2 boys that were holding on to Riven. Release him. They let him go immediately, dismissed. They nodded and walked out of the room to go and do whatever they were doing before, and I walked over to Riven and cupped his face in my hands. Are you okay? Did he punch you hard? I'm fine, Carrie, stop worrying. I smiled, just making sure if I had anything to kiss better. Well, I do have a cut on my lip that you can kiss better, he said in a baby voice, and I just leaned forward and pressed my lips against his. I pulled away after a long enough time. Better now? Much. He gave me another peck on the lips. I love you. I smiled. I love you too. I was about to give him another kiss when I heard a knock on the door. Yes? Trevor walked into the room. We found Francesca. Seriously? He nodded. Yes. Where is she? The lounge. Okay, we'll be there in a minute. He nodded and walked out of the room, and I turned to face Riven. What are you going to do with her? I smirked. You'll see. Chapter 9. Ariella's POV. Me and Riven walked out of the study and towards the lounge, and honestly, I had no idea what I was going to do with Francesca. I'll probably just let her go, but I want to have some fun first, scare her a little bit. I walked into the lounge. So, was the game fun? She looked up at me and I could see how vulnerable she was. At least now she knows to never touch my mate again. Why are you doing this? You need to know that nobody is allowed to touch my mate other than me. I know that now. Oh, do you? She nodded. I swear I won't do it again. What makes you think I'll let you stay in the pack? Haven't I suffered enough? Riven, are you just going to let her do this? I looked at Riven, wanting to know what his answer to that was. She's my mate, she can do what she likes. I smirked and looked back at her. Do you want to plead to anyone else in the room? Please just let me go. I shook my head. You need to see the error of your ways, Francesca. I have. I swear to you that I have. Answer me this. What were you hoping to gain out of forcing yourself on my mate? She dropped her head to the floor. I don't know. I clapped my hands for effect. The classic answer, I don't know. I'm sorry, she whispered quietly, and obviously we could all hear it, but I wanted her to shout it. What did you say? I'm sorry, she said a bit louder. So everyone can hear you. She looked up. I'm sorry. I smirked. That's better. I walked up to her. What you did was completely unacceptable and I'm not going to stand for it. What are you going to do? She asked with a fearful look in her eyes. I took a step back and crossed my arms. Nothing. She looked at me confused. What? I'm going to do nothing. I'm a calm person, which is why I'm letting you have a second chance, but if I ever find out that you've even looked at my mate in the wrong way, I won't be so calm. Do you understand me? She nodded frantically. I understand. It won't happen again, I promise. Good, we're on the same page then. I looked at the guys that were currently holding onto her. Release her. They let her go and she was about to walk out when I decided to say something else. One more thing. She stopped walking but didn't turn around. I'll be watching your every move. Make sure you don't mess up. She nodded and walked out of the lounge, and I just sighed and sat on the sofa. Alpha female, are you okay? I looked up at the 4 male wolves in front of me, excluding Riven. What is my name, gentlemen? Is that a trick question? I shook my head. No, it is not. Okay, your name is Ariella. Then please address me as such. But addressing the alpha and alpha female as their name is disrespectful. I snorted. That's a load of bullshit. They all smiled at my choice of words. It's what we were told. Well, I'm telling you now to call us by our names, and that's an order. Sure thing, Ariella. I smiled and they were about to walk out when I stopped them. Where do you think you're going? I'm not done with you guys yet. They all turned around with a weary look on their faces. Don't look so scared, I only want to know your names. Relief spread across their faces. Well, I'm Carl, that's Hunter, he waved. Then there's Adrian, he smiled, and finally we have my brother, Danny. He waved at me and I smiled at them. Are you all pack fighters? They all nodded. We are. Riven stepped in. They are 4 of the best fighters I've known. They smiled proudly. Thank you. Take the compliment, boys, because I doubt you'll hear another one from him any time this year. They laughed. We'll take what we can get. I laughed, dismissed. They walked out of the room and I looked at Riven. They seem nice. They are. I gestured for him to walk closer, and when he did I leaned up and gave him a kiss. I just felt like doing it. I heard a growl behind us, so I pulled away from Riven and looked behind him to see Kaelith glaring at him. Can we help you with something, Kaelith? Riven growled and stood up straight to face him. I was just walking around, like normal. Well, you've walked around enough. Now leave. Riven, I said with a warning voice. I'm not going to be nice to him, Ariella. I let him stay in my pack house. Isn't that good enough for you? It's more than enough, but don't be so mean. I wasn't being mean. Right, and I'm a unicorn, I said in a funny voice, and he just rolled his eyes. Come on, you're asking me to do something I don't want to do. You can't force me to be nice to him. I'm not forcing you. I'm just asking you not to be so, I don't know, rough. I'll do what I want. He's in my home and on my land. He turned to Kaelith. You follow my rules or get out. And don't try to stop me, Ariella. Wouldn't dream of it. He turned back to me. Can't you see he's trying to take you away from me? Why else would he want to stay here? You're acting scared for no reason, Riven. And even if he was trying, I would never go back to him. You should know that. I don't know. I love you a lot, and that's why I'm scared, okay? I can't lose someone I love again. He walked out of the room, and I just stood there confused because I didn't know what he meant by that last part. I got up to follow him, but someone grabbed my wrist. You should give him a little time alone. I turned to Kaelith. And you should let go of me. Ariella. Let go now. He let go with a sigh, and I walked away and went upstairs to Riven's room. When I got there, I knocked. Go away. Please, Riven. I heard movement, then he opened the door and let me in. I turned to face him. Who left you? Might as well ask him right away. You don't need to know. It's clearly bothering you. Just talk to me. He shook his head. I can't. Not now. But I will, I promise. I sighed. I don't know what to say to make you believe that I'm not going back to Kaelith. I've heard he was really good to you. Someone who protected you, who cared about you, who loved you deeply. But you are all of those things too. The difference is that he loved you and maybe treated you right. I love you too, but all I seem to do is hurt you. I laughed and shook my head. You're silly, do you know that? He looked confused. Why am I silly? You don't even see that I'm standing right here with you now. So? What does that mean? When you walked out, it was just me and Kaelith left. I had every chance to stay with him and do whatever. But I didn't. I chose to follow you and prove that I wasn't going back to him. But you don't even realize that I picked you. I saw him understand. He ran his hand through his hair. I didn't notice that. I smiled and hugged him around his neck. Now you do. So stop thinking I'll leave you, because I won't. He smiled. Okay. I believe you. Good. His face changed, and he looked nervous. Ariella, can I ask you something? Go on. He rubbed the back of his neck. Can you, maybe, stay with me tonight? Sorry, what? Will you stay with me tonight? I looked at him surprised, not because of what he said, but because of how shy he was asking. The big strong alpha was nervous about asking me to stay. I mean, you don't have to. I was just wondering. You could always. I stopped him by kissing him. He kissed me back right away. He bit my bottom lip, and I opened my mouth for him because I wanted to feel the love he gives when he kisses me. And I was not disappointed. I grabbed his shirt and walked backward until I was lying on the bed with him on top of me, still kissing me. I ran my hands through his hair while he kept kissing me gently. He moved to my neck, and I tilted it to the side so he had more room. I swear, I was just about to take off his shirt when someone knocked on the door. I wanted to scream. I want to hurt whoever's at the door. I'm thinking the same thing. Your eyes are black, by the way. So are yours. Not a shock. His eyes moved down my body, and I playfully hit his arm. Pervert. He laughed and gave me a kiss before getting off me and walking to the door. I used that moment to close my eyes and let them go back to normal. Ariella. I opened my eyes and looked at Riven. Yeah? Your parents want to talk to us. To us? He nodded. Yep. I groaned. It better not be the talk about stuff. I hate those. Oh, and yes, I'll stay with you tonight. He smiled and held my hand as we walked downstairs together. When we got to the living room, we sat on the chair across from my mom and dad. So, what's going on? Nothing, sweetheart. We just wanted to check how things are going with you and Riven. Dad, if you're going to give me the sex talk, please do it now. He looked shocked. I don't think that's something I should do. That sounds more like a mum and daughter kind of thing. I looked at my mom. Go on, Mom. She giggled and stared at Riven. You may be the alpha, but she's still my daughter, and I'm telling you now, if you hurt her, I'll make sure you won't be able to work properly again, if you know what I mean. I laughed. Good one, Mom. She winked at me. So, Alpha, are we clear? He nodded, a little scared. Yes, Teresa. Yeah, I'd be scared of my mom too. She's really scary when she gets angry. Awu, is my Alpha scared? He snorted. Me? Scared? Never. Well, would be, my dad said. My wife doesn't joke. He smirked, took my mom's hand, and they walked away. I looked at Riven, and he still looked nervous. You are scared. She said she'd break my man parts, of course I'm scared. I laughed. Then you better do what she said. Oh, I will. I leaned my head on his shoulder, and he kissed the top of my head. How about we go to bed, in our room? I laughed because he said our like it was special. But I nodded, and we walked to the bedroom. And if you're wondering, yes, we only slept. Just sleep, nothing else. Chapter 10. Riven sighed. I couldn't stop looking at Ariella while she slept peacefully in my arms. Everything about her is perfect, her voice, her kindness, her smile, her eyes. I could talk forever about how amazing she is. I lifted my hand and softly touched her cheek with my thumb. She smiled a little in her sleep. I didn't want to wake her, so I carefully moved my arm off her waist and tiptoed out of the room. I went downstairs to the kitchen, and to my surprise, I wasn't alone. Kaelith was sitting there at the table, eating cocoa cereal like he'd been living here for days. Are you just going to stare? He looked back with a smirk, and I frowned. I know what you're trying to do, Kaelith. But it's not going to work, I promise. And what am I trying to do, Riven? You want to take Ariella away from me. But I won't let it happen. He kept smirking, and the way he acted like he didn't care made me even madder. I won't need to take her. She'll come back to me on her own. He went back to eating. I was just about to ask what he meant when Talon came into the kitchen looking way too happy for 7:30 in the morning. What's up, guys? I stared at him. Why are you so cheerful? I'm not allowed to be. Not this early. He laughed, grabbed a box of sugar cereal and a bowl, and I just waited. When he finished getting his breakfast, he looked at me. I'm happy because I got 4 girls' numbers yesterday. I laughed. Player. Hypocrite, Kaelith mumbled under his breath. I growled quietly, and he smirked again. I held myself back from tearing him apart. Talon saw things were getting tense and tried to change the subject. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm just happy because school finally worked out for me. I smiled. You go there to learn, not to get girls. Oh, come on, wouldn't you be happy if 4 girls were fighting over you? He better not be, because I'm the only girl he should be fighting for. Just hearing her voice made me smile even bigger, and when I turned to look at her, my breath caught at how gorgeous she looked. It's too early for you to be staring at me like that, Riven, she said in a flirty voice. I looked into her eyes and smirked. You like teasing me, don't you? She smiled sweetly. I don't know what you mean. I walked over and put my hands on her hips. You know exactly what I mean. I looked over her whole body and gave her a hint with my eyes. She smirked. I just wanted to see how you'd react. Oh, I'll show you. I leaned in to kiss her, but then we heard someone cough. Yeah, we're still here, you know. I chuckled and gave her a quick kiss before turning to Talon and the enemy. You didn't have to look. Even if I didn't, I'd still know. She's my little sister. By 2 minutes, Talon. You're still younger than me, sis. He winked at her, and she smiled. She sat at the table and started chatting with Kaelith. I really wanted to stop it, but I couldn't, so I made an excuse. Carrie? She looked up. Yeah? I need to go talk to Torin. I won't be long. I turned to leave when she said, Wait. Don't even think about walking through that door. I stopped, but didn't turn around. Look at me, Riven. I turned around to see her standing right in front of me. She moves really fast. You thought you could just walk away like that? I nodded slowly. I didn't think it was a big deal. She raised her eyebrow. So, you weren't even going to give me a kiss? I felt relieved because I thought I did something bad, so I leaned close to her ear. Your brother and your ex are still here though. She whispered back, they don't have to look. I leaned back and gave her a smile, then leaned in and kissed her lips. She kissed me right away and wrapped her arms around my neck, pulling me closer. I heard Kaelith growl, so I stuck my middle finger up behind Ariella's back. Talon laughed, which made me grin against her lips. I pulled back and rested my forehead on hers. I love you. She smiled and gave me a small kiss. I love you too. She leaned back. You should go now. Don't want Torin waiting. That made me remember why I was leaving in the first place. Right, don't miss me too much. I'll try my best, oh handsome one, she said in a silly voice, and I laughed as I walked out of the kitchen. It hurt to leave her with that guy, but I hoped Talon would stay with her until I got back. On my way to the office, I bumped into someone, and I was just about to get mad when I saw who it was. Oh hey Torin. Just the guy I wanted to see. He looked confused. Why did you want to see me? Come into my office. His face showed worry now, probably because he knew I only called people there when they were in trouble. We walked into my office, and I sat down while he sat across from me. So Torin. Wait, Riven, I don't know what I did wrong. I promise I didn't do anything. Whoa, calm down. He took a few deep breaths and then said, Sorry, I'm just not sure why I'm here. You didn't do anything wrong, Torin. Relax. I just wanted to chat. He looked unsure. About what? I shrugged. Nothing big. Have you found your mate yet? He shook his head. Not yet. And at this point, I don't think I ever will. I used to think the same way, but now look at me, I've got Ariella. I smiled thinking about her, and Torin spoke again. I know, but I feel like giving up. I don't think it'll happen for me. I sighed. Listen, Torin, you're a good guy. Everyone knows it. And I'm sure you'll meet your mate soon, sooner than you think. Trust me. He smiled. Since when do I ever trust you? Good point. His face turned serious, so I knew he wanted to talk business now. Do you remember those intruders? How could I forget? They went on to Alistair's land even though I told them not to. Well, they did it again. You're kidding. He shook his head. No joke. Danny and Hunter caught them sneaking back at around 3 a.m. last night. When they asked them, they told the truth. That they trespassed? He nodded. Exactly. Bring them to me. Right now. Don't go too far, Riven. Just get them. He nodded and left the office. I ran my hands through my hair. I couldn't believe they did it again after I already warned them not to step foot on Alistair's land. They broke an alpha's rule twice. There was a knock on the door. Come in. The door opened, and the same 8 boys from last time walked in. Shut the door behind you. The last boy closed it and joined the others. They all stood in a line while I sat and looked at them. Every one of them looked the same, scared. You should be scared, boys, because I am not a happy alpha. They all swallowed at the same time. I thought I made it clear last time, no one goes on Dark Moon Land. But you eight clearly didn't listen. I leaned forward in my chair. So, anyone want to tell me who came up with the idea to sneak over there again? No one said anything. You're telling me you all just happened to go there at the same time, without planning it? They all nodded, but I could tell they were lying. The pause in their nods gave it away. Time for the lie check. I stood up and walked around my desk to look each boy in the eye. I could always tell when someone was lying, it showed in their eyes. This should be easy. The first boy, Steven, just looked scared. So did Charles. Kyle and Jason looked scared too. Then I looked at David, and saw something different. Guilt. It was you, wasn't it? He swallowed hard and nodded. Yes, Alpha, he said nervously. Did anyone help you plan it? No, Alpha. His eyes showed the truth. I knew he wasn't lying. I stepped back a bit. I can't believe this. I let you off easy the first time, and this is how you repay me? Breaking the rules again? You don't get how serious this is, do you? If you did, you wouldn't have done it. David cut me off, we're sorry. My eyes turned red. You interrupted your Alpha. He looked down. Sorry, Alpha. You better be. Do it again, and I'll make sure you get punished. Is that clear? Yes, Alpha. Good, now like I was saying, this isn't something to laugh about. I looked at each of them before I kept going. When I give a rule, I expect you to follow it with no questions. What part of what I said didn't you understand? No one spoke, and I was quickly getting mad. Answer me. They all jumped at how loud I was, and Steven decided to talk. We understood everything. I find that hard to believe. I walked back to my chair behind the desk and sat down. I'm going to give you a punishment as big as I can. They looked at me, still clearly scared. You're not allowed to use the game room, the pool room, the tennis court, or the gym. You have to be home by 11 p.m. every night, no later. I'll be checking the house every night to make sure. And lastly, none of you will ever be allowed to become a fighter for the pack. They looked shocked. What? Why? I gave a small, angry laugh. Why? You actually have the nerve to ask why? Sorry, Alpha. I don't owe you an explanation. Just know this, you lost that chance because of what you did. Blame yourselves. I'll say this one more time, stay away from Dark Moon Land. Is that clear? They nodded, yes, Alpha. Good. Now get out of my sight. They lowered their heads and walked out of my office. I ran my hands through my hair. Riven? I smiled at her voice. Right away I felt calm again. Come in, Ariella. She walked further into the room and was about to sit across from me, but I stood up and picked her up. Riven, what are you doing? I didn't say anything. I just walked us back to my chair, sat down, and placed her on my lap. That's better. She smiled. I just wanted to see where you were. I started missing you. Hearing that made my heart feel full. At least I knew she wasn't falling for Kaelith tricks. I missed you too, baby. I was just taking care of a few things. I noticed. Were those boys the ones who sneaked onto Alistair's land again? I sighed. Yeah. Torin told me they did it again, so I had a little talk with them. She raised her eyebrow. A talk? Okay, more like a warning. But still, they broke my rule, and they did it twice. I started getting upset again, and I think Ariella noticed. She moved so she was now sitting facing me and put her hands on my face. Baby, calm down. You're getting upset. I took deep breaths and slowly calmed down until my breathing was normal again. I'm calm now. Good, because I was going to ask if you could do me a favor. What favor? Come bowling with me, Talon, and Kaelith. No. What do you mean to no? I mean I'm not going. I'm not going anywhere Kaelith is. Please. Just for me? I love you, Ariella, but I'm not going. I could always change your mind. I went quiet the moment I felt her hand slide across my stomach and down my jeans. Can't talk now? I didn't even answer. I was so surprised. She leaned toward my ear and started biting it softly in a way that made it hard to think straight. I didn't notice I was squeezing the desk so hard that I made a dent. Then she kissed my neck slowly. Just say yes. Ariella, I breathed. Her hand slid over my abs again while she kept kissing and biting my neck. It was both sweet and way too much at the same time. Just say it. I can't. Ariella, can you believe how breathless she made me? I'm the one who's supposed to drive her crazy, not the other way around. Her hand moved even lower, way too low. Ariella, don't. Even I could hear the need in my voice now. It was obvious. It's just a few words, Riven, she whispered in my ear, say them. Yes. Yes what? Her hand was still really low. Yes, I'll go bowling with you. She pulled her hand away and leaned back. That's all you had to say. You are so hot. I still sounded out of breath because feelings like that don't go away fast. I also meant it with love, not just desire. Say it in my ear. I leaned close and whispered again. You are so hot. She leaned back and kissed me again. Of course, I didn't stop her. I gently bit her lip and she let me in without holding back. She ran her hands through my hair and I couldn't stop the soft sound that came from me. It made her smile while still kissing me. I kept moving my tongue with hers, and just when things were getting good, someone knocked on the door. Ariella pulled away. People always show up at the worst time. I laughed. Seriously. The knock came again. Wait a minute. Ariella started getting off my lap, but I pulled her back down. Riven, what are you doing? Just, wait until I calm down. She looked confused, until I pointed down. Then she understood. I didn't know I had that much power over you. Well, you do. See for yourself. She laughed. Don't worry, baby. You'll feel better soon. I smiled and looked at the door. Come in. The door opened and the parents of the 8 boys stepped in. Good morning, Alpha. I nodded. Good morning, Alpha female. Ariella turned around so she wasn't sitting on me face to face, but she stayed on my lap. Hi. I chuckled at how relaxed she was and looked at the parents. What do you need? Even though I already knew. Our son said you told them they can't be fighters for the pack. That's right. We just want to know why. They've trained so hard hoping to be chosen. They have. And they are strong. But breaking an alpha's rule comes with a cost. That's how they paid for it. Don't you think that's a little too harsh? Okay. Now I was definitely getting mad. But Ariella stepped in before I could explode. That's not too harsh at all. What they did was wrong. And the fact that you're standing here questioning the alpha's choice is shocking. They all looked down in shame, and Ariella kept going. You should be ashamed. I believe in being respectful to elders, but I also believe in following the rules. And so should you. So let me say this once, show respect to your alphas. They nodded and turned to leave. But before they could walk out fully, I added one more thing. Don't ever question my decisions again. Is that understood? Yes, Alpha. They left, and Ariella stood up from my lap. I looked at her, confused. Where are you going? To get ready. Ready for what? Oh, did I forget to say? We're going bowling in 1 hour. I stared at her shocked, and before I could say anything, she was already out of the room, laughing. I just shook my head and smiled. I really love that girl. But I already know I'm going to hate the rest of today. Chapter 11. Ariella sighed. I stared at the mirror, then looked at Riven, who looked like his mind had wandered far away, so I went over and snapped my fingers. Riven, come back to earth, babe. He shook his head. Sorry, I was just surprised by how pretty you look. Have I ever told you how sweet he is? I bit my bottom lip and turned red, and in just a moment, he had me lying back on the bed. I told you to stop doing that, you know what it does to me. I'm sorry, I don't even notice when I do it. It's a really hot habit, but you've got to stop. I can't help it, it just happens. I did it again and he groaned, but I knew it wasn't because he was hurt. Please, Ariella, try for me. I'll do my best not to. Promise. He smiled and leaned in to kiss me, and I happily kissed him back. Hey, are you guys? Oh wow, nope. I didn't want to see that. I pulled back from Riven and looked behind him. Talon had turned around to face the wall. That's what you get for not knocking. Okay, I got it. I laughed and Riven started to move off me, but I grabbed his shirt and pulled him back down for another kiss. He was totally surprised. I pulled away again and gave him a cheeky wink before sitting up. You can look now, it wasn't even anything serious. Not serious? You were seconds away from tearing each other's clothes off. Me and Riven looked at each other and couldn't stop laughing. What are you laughing at? Because it's such an overreaction. I had tears in my eyes from laughing so hard. It wasn't even what he said, it was how he said it and the look on his face that made it hilarious. It's not funny, guys. I meant it. I wiped the tears away. That's what made it funny. Riven put his arm around my waist. We weren't even close to that, Shaq. If we were, you'd definitely know. Talon's eyes got huge with horror. I didn't need to know that. I snorted, and you always say you're older? I'm more grown up than you are. He made a blank face and stood up straighter, like that would prove he was right. That's not true. I'm obviously the mature one. Oh please, you almost fainted when Riven told you that thing. I did not almost faint, Ariella. Yes you did, Talon. Did not. Did too. Did not. Did too. He was just about to answer back when my mum walked into the room. Alright, what is going on in here? She started it. Talon said, pointing right at me. I rolled my eyes. Nice going, bro. He stuck out his tongue and I did the same, and Mum just laughed. You two are acting like babies. Can someone tell me why you're arguing like this? Ariella's just mad I walked in on her and Riven kissing. She raised an eyebrow at me, and I groaned inside. Is that true, Ariella? It wasn't a big deal, Mum. She looked past me at Riven, who had a little smile on his face, but it disappeared as soon as Mum gave him that look. I don't know what you're smiling for, Riven. He swallowed hard, and I had to cover my mouth so I wouldn't laugh at how scared he suddenly looked. I'm sorry, Teresa, but to be fair, Talon didn't knock. Talon Rimano Casella, how many times have I told you to knock before going into a room? She turned to him, and he just dropped his head. A bunch of times. Way too many. Luther. Come say something to your son. Talon left the room, and as Mum followed him out, I couldn't stop myself. I burst out laughing. She turned back around. Don't think I won't talk to you later, Ariella. I nodded quickly because I didn't want to say the wrong thing. Then she winked and walked out, closing the door behind her. I turned to Riven. Well, that was something. He nodded, totally agree. I'm wondering about something. What is it? What's your full name? I smiled and sat next to him on the bed. You tell me yours and I'll tell you mine. You first. Nope. I shook my head. He grinned, all right then. My full name is Riven Jameson Kepler. Hot. He laughed. Okay, now yours? Ariella Milena Casella. That's such a pretty name. He touched my cheek softly, and I closed my eyes because his touch made me feel safe. It's something I can't explain. But then, someone knocked on the door and ruined the moment. Riven took his hand away and suddenly I felt cold. Come in. The door opened and Kaelith came in. My hand quickly grabbed Riven, probably because I knew how fast he could get mad. What do you want, Luke? Just letting you know we're leaving in a minute. All right. He gave me a wink before walking out. Riven growled at that, so I squeezed his hand tighter. I changed my mind. I'm not going. I looked at him in surprise. But you said you would. I never said I promised. Riven, please. I'm not going, Ariella. That's final. I flinched a bit at how firm his voice sounded and started to walk to the door. But I had one last trick. I guess I'll just ride with Kaelith since Talon has his own car. No. I turned around to see him grabbing his keys and heading toward me. I'm not letting you ride in a car with him. Let's go. He took my hand, and I smiled big inside. He's really so easy to convince. We walked downstairs and saw Talon and Kaelith waiting at the front door. You guys ready? I nodded. Yep, let's go. We all stepped outside and headed for the car. I just knew that tonight wasn't going to go how we thought it would. 20 minutes later. Shoe size? 5. Your feet are really tiny, Ariella. I gave Riven a playful punch on the arm. I'm a girl, what did you think I'd have? I took the shoes from the lady kindly and walked over to our lane while Riven kept talking about my small feet. I at least thought you'd wear size 7 or something. Well, I'm short, so it makes sense. I like short girls. You better like only this short girl. He came up behind me, wrapped his arms around my waist, and whispered close to my ear. You're the only short girl I'm in love with. I smiled and turned around to kiss him properly. I didn't care we were in public. Go get a room. I kept smiling while kissing Riven and then pulled back to look at Talon. Go get yourself a girlfriend. Talon's face turned red and me and Riven laughed and gave each other a high five. Kaelith just stared at Riven with a mad face. Kaelith, chill out. I will. When he's gone. I looked at Riven. I'm not leaving, so you'll just have to deal with it. Kaelith's angry face got even worse. I moved around a bit on my feet because the mood felt heavy, and Riven noticed it. You okay? I just don't like this bad energy. I know, baby. I'm sorry. But I can't change that we hate each other. Hate isn't even strong enough, Kaelith mumbled. You know what? This was a mistake. Let's just go home. No. Kaelith stood up quickly and grabbed my wrist, but Riven pushed him away. Don't touch her. You can't tell me what to do. Riven stepped even closer, snapped his fingers, and said, remember, I could end you. Just like that. Kaelith moved closer too. Try me. I couldn't take it anymore. I ran out of the bowling alley fast because I didn't want to hear another word from them. Good thing I hadn't changed into the bowling shoes or I would have looked super silly running like that. I hate how Riven and Kaelith keep fighting like I'm some toy. My heart isn't a game. And Kaelith should know, my heart belongs to Riven now. Honestly, it never really belonged to Kaelith anyway. Ariella, where are you? Riven's voice filled my head. That's when I noticed I was still running. I stopped. Right then, he sent me another mind message. I'm worried, Carrie. Please answer. I took a deep breath and sent back, I'm okay. Thank goodness. Where are you then? I looked around for any street name or sign, but I couldn't find one. So I told him the name of the closest cafe. I know where that is. Stay put, I'm coming. He cut the link off, and all I could hear now was silence. The quiet was too loud, if that makes sense. I decided to go into the cafe. It wasn't warm outside and I wanted to check how I looked before Riven arrived. I followed a sign that led to the bathroom. I looked in the mirror and saw I looked really tired. So I turned on the tap and splashed cold water on my face. When I looked up again, I jumped. There was someone behind me in the mirror. "You're a really pretty girl." I turned around fast. "Why are you in here? This isn't the boys' room." "Oh, I know that, sweetie." He walked toward me and I backed up until my back hit the wall. I was trapped. "You've got nowhere to run now. So, what's next? What do you want?" My voice came out really quiet, which was rare for me. I'm usually bold. He bent down next to my ear and whispered something that made my whole body feel gross and scared. "I want you to scream my name." Tears started to fall down my cheeks. I couldn't even speak. "Am I making you freeze up?" He leaned back. "Do you fear me?" He touched my cheek, but it felt horrible, not warm or safe like when Riven does it. I tried to turn my head, but he grabbed my face and forced me to look at him. "Look at me, sweetheart." "Ariella, where are you?" Riven's voice came into my mind and I answered with panic. "Riven, help me. What's happening? Where are you?" I couldn't answer because the man kept talking. I love when they're scared. It makes it more fun. I was shaking all over. You're probably wondering why I didn't just change form and fight back, right? Well, I couldn't. We were in a public bathroom, anyone could walk in. He started to touch my legs, slowly going up to my waist. I felt so sick. It was all wrong. "This is just the beginning, sweet thing. Ariella." "Riven, please. Where are you? Tell me." "Cafe bathroom." I didn't hear back, but I knew he got the message. Because suddenly, the guy was thrown off me, and he slammed into the wall so hard it cracked the tiles. "Don't ever touch her." Riven's voice was so icy, it made me shiver. The man slowly stood up and looked at Riven. "She didn't stop me. She liked it. Didn't you, sweetheart?" He winked at me. I swallowed hard, trying not to throw up. "She's mine." Riven looked ready to shift. I sent him a message fast. "Calm down, Riven. I'm okay. You can't change form here." I tried to sound brave, but I don't think I pulled it off. Still, I saw his body relax, and I let out a tiny breath. "Come on, pretty girl. Let's go to my place. I'll make sure you enjoy it." He licked his lips. That was it for Riven. He snapped. He charged at him and punched him hard enough to knock him out cold. I didn't wait, I ran to the stall and threw up into the toilet. Everything that just happened hit me like a wave. The fear, the disgust, the shock. It all became real. Riven gently pulled my hair back and softly rubbed my back while I kept throwing up. "It's okay, sweetie, I'm here now. Don't be scared." I stopped being sick, but then I started crying hard. Riven hugged me tight and ran his fingers through my hair while I cried all over his shirt. "Shoo, sweet girl, don't cry. I hate seeing your tears. Please take me back home." He didn't say anything, but I felt him pick me up off the floor. I wondered how he was going to walk through the cafe holding a crying girl, but after thinking about it for like 3 seconds, I didn't care anymore. I just wanted to be home, curled up with Riven, pretending none of this ever happened. 25 minutes later. I felt the car stop, but I didn't move. I didn't need to, though, because he picked me up again from the car seat. My eyes were shut, so maybe he thought I was sleeping. Truth was, I just didn't want to see his sad face. What happened to her? We were really scared. Not now. A lot just happened, and I don't want to talk about it. His voice sounded so flat and empty. I didn't like that at all. Okay. He didn't talk again, but the way we turned felt kind of steep, so I guessed we were going up the stairs. Then we reached his room and he laid me on the bed. I'm so sorry, Ariella. He kissed my forehead, and I could feel him about to leave the room, so I opened my eyes. Don't go. Please stay here. He stopped in the doorway and turned back around to look at me. His face looked so hurt, and that's exactly what I didn't want to see. He closed the door, walked toward me, and sat down on the edge of the bed like he was scared to get too close. Riven, I want you to sit closer. He only scooted over a tiny bit, and I felt like smacking him. Riven, please. He looked up at me and finally moved closer. He lifted his hand and started touching my cheek softly, and I closed my eyes because his touch made me feel safe again. I'm sorry. I opened my eyes to look at him. Sorry for what? I wasn't there to stop it. But you stopped the worst part from happening, and for that, I really thank you with all my heart. He gave a little smile, but it didn't show in his eyes. So I sat up and held his hand. You know I love you, right? He nodded. I know. And I love you too. Then kiss me. Yeah, it was a little bold, but I felt so messed up, and I needed to feel safe again. Only Riven could make me feel that way. Are you sure? I rolled my eyes at how unsure he was and grabbed his shirt to pull him in. The moment his lips touched mine, I felt that spark again, the one that made me feel safe. But he pulled away too soon. Je t'aime, Ariella. I love you, Ariella. I smiled and answered, Je t'aime, Riven. And I love you, Riven. He smiled back and gave me a tiny kiss before laying down beside me. I rested my head on his chest and slowly fell asleep. But right before I drifted off, I heard him whisper something that made me smile. I'll never leave you, Ariella. Not with how much I love you. Chapter 12. Ariella's view. I want him gone. Forever. My mom always said listening in on people is rude, but I couldn't stop myself this time. I was hearing Riven talk while he thought I was still asleep. I don't care how you find him, just do it. Think about what he could have done if I didn't show up. Exactly, don't argue with me. Bring him to me and I'll finish it myself. My heart started beating really fast. Riven was really talking about hurting someone. He knows how much I hate people who kill. I know you're awake, Ariella. I can feel it. Oh no. I whispered a bad word and turned over to see Riven staring straight at me. How much did you hear? Enough to know you're planning to hurt someone. He let out a deep breath. I don't hurt good people. I only go after the bad ones. Wait, are you saying, you've done it before? He nodded. I had no choice. My stomach turned and I ran out of bed to the bathroom to throw up in the toilet. Riven followed and tried to move my hair, but I pushed him away. Don't touch me. I breathed in and out a few times, then looked up at him. He looked really sad. Ariella, you've got to understand. Understand what? That you're a killer? I did it because I had no other option. No, you did have a choice. You could have stopped it from even getting that far. If I hadn't gotten to them first, they would have hurt my sister really badly. I looked at him, eyes wide. I didn't even know he had a sister. You have a sister? He nodded. Yes, I do. But it doesn't matter now because she's not around. He went back into the bedroom, and I slowly stood up and followed. His words from earlier this week kept repeating in my head. I can't lose someone I love again. It was your sister, wasn't it? He rubbed his hands over his face. I loved her so much. She was 22 and I was 17 back then. I looked up to her. She was amazing at everything. Everyone in our pack loved her. Then she got a boyfriend. He wasn't her mate, but he came from a different group, the Red Forest Pack. My mouth dropped open. That's the strongest pack in the East, right? Yeah, the biggest enemy if you want to put it that way. Back then, we were at war with them. I wasn't alpha yet, my dad was. He gave me an order, and I had to obey. We planned everything carefully, but one night, we got a message. They had my sister, and they wanted my dad to give up the pack or they'd hurt her. Most people would give up the pack, but not my dad. He told everyone to take them all out, no matter who they were. I didn't argue. He was the alpha. I did what he said and fought that night. One of the people I had to stop was Adele's boyfriend. I looked confused. But if you saved her, why did she leave? She still had feelings for him, even though he took her. She blamed me for what happened. She told me she couldn't stay near someone who hurt the one she loved. So she left. I haven't seen her again. Tears slid down my cheeks, but I didn't wipe them away. I walked up to Riven. He was shaking, but not because he was mad or scared. He was crying. I put my arms around him, and he cried even more. I had no idea you went through that much. I did. And now I'm scared you'll leave me too. I leaned back, shocked. Why would I ever leave you? He looked down. Because I'm a killer. I'm a monster. I made him look at me. You were following your father's order. An order I should have said no to. I sighed. He was the leader. You didn't have a choice. Let's be real, Ariella, you're staring into the face of someone who has ended lives. I couldn't stand him saying that anymore, so I hit him lightly on the head. Why did you do that? To knock some sense into you. You saved your sister's life that night. It sounds like she didn't even thank you. She only saw the love she lost. That doesn't make you evil. You didn't do it on purpose, you were obeying orders. And I still lost her. Riven, look at me. He kept staring down, so I took his face in my hands. Do you really believe I'll walk away from you? Be honest. He nodded. I do. You once said you hated people who kill. He clearly wasn't going to believe anything I said, so I did the next best thing. I leaned in and kissed him. He didn't respond at first, but then he kissed me back. He bit my lower lip, and I let him in. I softly pushed him back onto the bed and he wrapped his arms around me, then stopped. So, you're staying? I smiled. Love always wins. He smiled too and gave me a soft kiss. I'm sorry I didn't say anything earlier. It's okay, Riven. What matters is that I know now. I sat up and grabbed his hand. We should go see my parents. They must be losing it. He nodded, and we walked out of the room together. We found them fast, they were sitting in the living room. Hey Mom, hey Dad. They both turned quickly. My mom rushed up and hugged me hard. My baby. She kissed me all over my face, and I gently stepped back. I'm okay, Mom. Really? We were so scared, honey. That word, sweetheart, set something off inside me. I couldn't breathe right, and my eyes filled with tears. Ariella, what's wrong? That man's face popped into my head. Do you fear me? I started to shake. Ariella? This is only the beginning, sweetheart. No. Please don't. I started stepping back, crying hard. Ariella, calm down. What's going on? I want you to scream my name. I broke down and fell to the floor. I couldn't let him near me again. Riven. Please. Suddenly, someone pulled me onto their lap. Shh, it's okay, baby. He can never come near you again. I promise. I turned a little and cried into Riven's shirt. Please don't let him near me. He won't, Ariella. I'll keep you safe, okay? I nodded and finally fell asleep. Riven view. I held her while she slept and looked at her parents. What happened, Riven? Tell us the truth. I sighed and stood up, holding Ariella. I walked over to the couch to lay her down. No, don't go. Please. She was still asleep, but she could tell I was moving away, so I just sat down and let her rest on my lap. Once I saw she was okay, I looked up at her mom and dad. Where do you want me to begin? From the very start. I let out a breath and told them everything, from the moment she ran out of the bowling alley to when I found her in the cafe bathroom. When I was done, her mom was crying, and her dad was just frozen. Why did she break down just now? The word sweetheart made her remember. That's what the man kept calling her. My poor little girl. Come on, Teresa. Let's go upstairs and take a minute. She nodded and stood up. Luther was about to follow, but he stopped and turned to me. Thank you, Riven. We owe you everything. I nodded, and he walked upstairs. I used the moment to make my move. Emergency meeting. I need all pack fighters and my second-in-command in my study. Now. I sent the message, and since I couldn't leave Ariella alone, I lifted her up in my arms. Riven, where are we going? I looked down and saw Ariella rubbing her eyes. I was going to take you to my office, but now that you're awake, maybe we don't need to. There's clearly still a reason, so tell me what's happening. I let out a sigh. I called a meeting. I want to catch the man who hurt you. She held out her arms so I would put her down. I gently helped her stand and she held onto my hand. No matter what happens, I'll be right beside you. I smiled, and we kept walking toward my office. When we walked in, everyone stopped talking. Good morning, Alpha. Good morning, Alpha Lady. Wait. That's not how I want to be greeted. Try again. I laughed quietly and shook my head. Ariella really doesn't like when people act too serious. They looked confused, so I sent a message to their minds. She wants you to call us by our names. They finally understood and spoke again. Good morning, Riven. Good morning, Ariella. She smiled. That's better. Don't make me remind you again. No problem. Alright, let's begin. Torin, go ahead and put in the code. Torin nodded and walked over to the big bookshelf. Ariella looked puzzled. The code isn't numbers, it's book names. It goes, Romeo and Juliet, The Trial, Miracle Cure, Macbeth, and last is The Innocent. I picked this method because everyone expects a number lock, but no one expects a book code. Torin touched the right books and the two shelves opened up into a hidden room. Whoa, that looks like spy stuff. I chuckled. Come on. I squeezed her hand and led her into the hidden room. Once everyone was inside, Torin locked the door. The exit code is in numbers, so it's simple to leave. Everyone, find a seat. They all sat down and I walked to the front and pulled Ariella onto my lap. So, what's this meeting about, Riven? Let's just say something really bad happened to Ariella yesterday. I won't go into the full story, but we need to find the person who did it. And then what? We get rid of him. Everyone gasped and stared at me, surprised. You said you'd never hurt anyone again after what happened. Ariella knows, Charlie. It's okay to talk about it. Alright, well, after Adele left you said you'd never do that again. I'm going to break that promise. When I find him, I'll make sure he's sorry for what he did to Ariella. I felt myself getting angry just thinking about what might have happened to her. Riven, you have to calm down before something happens. Don't tell me what I should do. I lifted Ariella off me and stood facing the wall. Riven. Be quiet. I started shaking with rage. I kept squeezing my fists again and again. I felt arms wrap around my waist. You need to breathe, baby. Or else you'll change. I'm so mad. He touched you. I know, but you stopped him before he could go too far. Take deep breaths. I growled. That meant my wolf was trying to come out, right now. You're scaring me. That snapped me out of it. I felt terrible. I turned around and saw her backing away a bit. Don't be afraid of me, please. I didn't want to frighten you. It's just. He put his hands on you and I couldn't stop him. She walked over and gently placed her hand on my cheek. Try not to keep thinking about it too much. I let out a long breath. Okay. She smiled and dropped her hand. I went back to my seat and brought Ariella back into my lap. Sorry for that, everyone. They nodded. So back to the point, how can we find him if we don't know what he looks like? Do you think I'm dumb? I already gave his description to Lamar. He'll finish it in a day or so. Then what? When you get his picture, go out and look for him. The moment you spot him, grab him. I don't care how it's done. Bring him back here and call me. Only follow my orders, nothing else, clear? Yes. Meeting over. They were about to get up when Ariella spoke. Everyone sit down now. They quickly sat, and I looked at her, confused. I didn't say a word. You all came up with this plan, and not one of you asked how I felt about it. We're sorry, Ariella, but we have to obey the Alpha. If I give an order, you have to follow it too, right? They nodded. I sighed inside, already guessing what she was about to say. Then here's my order. Don't do anything unless I say so myself. Got it? Got it. Now you can go. They nodded and Torin used the code to open the door. Everyone left, and only me and Ariella were left. Why'd you do that? She got up from my lap and looked me in the eyes. I did what I had to do. I just want to protect you, Ariella. I don't want you to get hurt. Did you ever stop and think maybe what you're doing is what hurts me? I ran my fingers through my hair, feeling upset. All I ever do is make you feel pain. Riven, that's not what I meant. I'm saying I can't just sit quietly while you talk about hurting someone. That's what hurts me. Not once did you ask how I felt. I now felt really bad. I stood up and held her by the waist. I'm sorry. I was only thinking about myself. I didn't think about how you felt. Will you forgive me? She gave me a soft kiss. I forgive you. I smiled and glanced toward the TV. Suddenly my eyes turned red. Riven, what's wrong? I didn't say anything. I let go of her waist and walked over to my TV feeling mad. I had secret cameras all over the house and right now I saw Kaelith inside my room. That stupid jerk. I quickly typed in the code and ran out of the room with Ariella right behind me. I rushed upstairs and into my room while Ariella shut the door. Get out of here now. He looked at me and grinned. Funny bumping into you here, Riven. Don't mess with him, Kaelith. Why are you in his room? Just having a little look around. That was it. I lost my cool. That's it. Get out of my house. Why don't we let Ariella choose that? I growled but turned to face Ariella. Tell him to leave. I grinned happily and looked back at him. You heard her. Go. I know you still like me, Ariella. Just say it and I'll leave. She shook her head. I don't like you anymore. I'm sorry, but my heart is with Riven now. We'll see. He jumped out the window and I locked it as fast as I could. What did he mean by that? I shrugged. I don't know, and I really don't want to know either. I'm sorry for pulling you into this. I looked at her, confused. Pulled me into what? This whole, Kaelith wants me back, mess. I didn't mean to bring you into it. I smiled. It's okay. I like knowing you'll always pick me instead of him. She smiled. That feeling's going to stay forever. I stepped closer and placed my hands around her waist. Did I ever tell you how much I love you? I don't think you did. Want to tell me now? I love you a lot. So much that it's hard to explain. She smiled. You're so kind. I love you lots too. Not more than I love you. I love you more. That's not possible. Want to bet? How much? She grabbed my shirt and kissed me hard. I didn't wait to kiss her back, and she didn't hold back either. Like always, sparks flew, but the second our tongues touched, it felt like fireworks. That's how strong this kiss was. She kept holding my shirt as she slowly walked backward to the bed, and I didn't stop kissing her. She lay down, and I leaned over her so I wouldn't be far. Suddenly, she pulled my shirt off, and I thought it was unfair if only I had mine off, so I took off hers too. I moved my lips to her neck while she dragged her nails down my back, which made me groan in joy. I kissed her neck, trying to find the spot I wanted. When she let out a soft sound, I knew I found it, the place she felt most ticklish. I gently touched it with my teeth, and she grabbed my hair and pulled my face up to kiss her again. "Be my mate," she whispered against my lips. I pulled back and looked at her, surprised. "What did you say?" I knew what she said, I just wanted her to say it again. "Be my mate," she said louder. "You're sure?" She moved her hands down my tummy until they reached the button on my jeans. "I'm sure." I smiled and kissed her again right away. I just wanted her to belong to me completely, and I wasn't going to say no. Chapter 13. Ariella's side. So, what can I even say? Riven is just. I honestly don't even have the right words for how amazing that was. It was really, really awesome. Thinking about it? You're full of yourself. He laughed. I'm not full of myself. I just asked a question. I smiled. Whatever. But if you need to know, I was just remembering it, not dreaming. I do leave that kind of memory. Don't you dare start talking about your old flings. Didn't cross my mind. Sure it didn't. But now that we've done the mate thing, what's going to be different? I never asked my parents about it. Well, now I'll be able to feel your pain depending on how strong it is, and you'll feel mine too. We'll also feel each other's moods, like when we're happy, sad, mad, or even jealous. So behave your feelings. I playfully hit his arm. You're such a hypocrite. He smiled. Now we should have our mark as mates. He nodded. Yep, look. He pointed to my waist and there it was, a mark that looked amazing. It was a tiny image of two wolves, with the girl wolf resting her head on the boy wolf's shoulder. Wow. I know, it's really cool. I smiled and rested my head on his chest, tracing little shapes on it with my finger without even thinking about it. I don't think I can be any happier than this. Don't count me out just yet, Carrie. I'm not marrying you, Riven. He laughed. And here I was hoping you'd say yes. I mean, not right now. But honestly, if you did ask, I'd probably say yes anyway. At least I know you won't say no when I finally do ask. I laughed. I love you too much to say no. I love you too. I lifted my head from his chest and got up from the bed. I didn't bother covering myself. Why should I? He's seen all of me anyway. Where are you going? Shower. I stepped into the bathroom, and before I could count to 2, I felt myself pushed gently against the wall. You think you can just walk away from me like that? I gave a cheeky smile. Why? What's the matter? He leaned forward, turned on the shower, then looked back at me. You didn't even ask me to join you. Well, you're already here, aren't you? He grinned. Yep, I sure am. He took my hand and pulled me into the shower with him, and from that moment, we started all over again, but this time in warm, steamy water. 45 minutes later. Now I can do this whenever I feel like it, he whispered, wrapping his arms around my waist from behind. He kissed my neck softly, going as low as he could, and I moved my head to the side to give him more room. His hands slowly ran up and down my sides, and I bit my lip to stop a sound from slipping out. He turned me around and gently moved my bottom lip away with his thumb. Don't bite your lip like that. Why not? We're already mates now. It's still really cute, and I might have to punish you if you do that again, he said in a deep, playful tone. What kind of punishment, Alpha? He growled softly in a way that made me blush. Don't test me, Ariella. I slid my hands up his shirt and wrapped my arms around his neck. What's stopping you then? He was leaning down to kiss me again when we heard a knock at the door. That's what's stopping me. I smiled and gave him a tiny kiss before letting go of his neck. Come in. The door opened and Talon stepped inside. Are you two finally done being all over each other? I turned red and leaned into Riven's chest. Yeah, we're done now, Talon. Well, next time, try keeping it down a bit. These walls are thin. Riven laughed. You're just mad you're not getting any. I burst into laughter and turned to look at Talon. He was frowning at Riven. I've got 4 girls after me. And how many of them have you actually kissed? He stayed quiet. Exactly. Talon's cheeks turned pink. Anyway, your parents want to see you. Whose parents? Riven's. But your mom and dad are there too. They probably already know we're mates. No, really? I said with a smirk, and Riven chuckled. You're always full of sarcasm, Ariella. I winked at him and grabbed his hand so we could walk downstairs together. We entered the sitting room and sat across from all 4 of our parents. So, what did you all want to talk about? I'm guessing you two have mated? Good guess. They laughed. We just wanted to know. You're both young and full of feelings right now. Mom. Seriously? It's true, Riven. Are you being careful? His face turned red and he looked down. Yes, Mom. Sadie, stop embarrassing him. It's a smart question, Neil. So Ariella, how was it? Teresa. I gasped and started choking. I really didn't expect that question. Riven rubbed my back until I could breathe again. There is no way I'm answering that in front of all of you. It was a simple question. Yeah, but his parents are right here. My dad's here. He's sitting next to me. I already know how you felt about it, Ariella. I blushed and tried to stay calm before I looked back at my mom. You can tell me later. She winked, and I just stared at her in shock. There's no way I'm telling her anything. So where's your mark? On my waist. Show us. I lifted my shirt a little so they could see the mark. They all stared at it in amazement. Beautiful. It's really detailed. Once they had a good look, I pulled my shirt down. Then I felt my phone buzzing and answered quickly. Hello? Bonjour, Belle. Elias. I heard Riven growl beside me, so I smacked the back of his head and walked out to talk in private. We haven't talked in 2 days, Ariella. You've got some explaining to do. Hey, you didn't call me either. Touché. So, why are you calling now? I missed hearing your voice. I wanted to know how things were going between you and Riven. You're still flirting, huh? We're doing great. He even told me he loves me. He gasped. No way. What spell did you use on him? I didn't use anything. I'm just naturally hard to resist. Well, I can't argue with that. I laughed. Stop it, Elias. It's harmless. But I've actually got my eyes on someone else now. What? You didn't tell me that. He chuckled. Doesn't matter. She doesn't even notice me. Who is it? Do I know her? You have to tell me. Relax. Yes, you know her. Spill or I'm coming over to drag it out of you. He laughed. All right. Her name's Leora. Are you serious? Leora Hart? Yeah, Leora Hart. The one who sits with us every day at lunch. She never sees me looking at her. Aw, Elias. I've liked her for 2 years. 2 whole years and she still hasn't noticed. So, I flirt with other girls to cover it up. I sighed. You need to tell her. If not, she might end up with someone else. Can you do it for me? Elias. Please, Ariella. I just want to know if I even stand a chance. Okay. I can't say no to you. That's because you love me, he sang, and I rolled my eyes. Whatever you say. Ariella. I heard Riven shout, sounding jealous. Your boyfriend's calling. I laughed. I'll see you tomorrow at school. Yep. Bye. Bye. I ended the call and put my phone in my pocket. Ariella. I'm coming, Riven, chill. I shook my head and walked back into the sitting room. Thankfully, our parents had left. What's wrong now? Nothing's wrong, I just don't like it when you talk to that guy. Really? After all we've been through? After everything I shared with you? You're still acting like this? I just don't trust him. You are impossible sometimes. I can't believe you. What is it exactly that you don't trust about him? He always flirts with you whenever he can. And he doesn't seem to get that you're mine now. He likes another girl, okay? He literally told me. Riven, seriously, let it go already. I turned to walk out, but then I felt his arms wrap around my waist and he whispered in my ear. You're really cute when you're mad. I breathed out shakily as he started planting kisses along my neck. It took every bit of strength I had to gently push him away. I can't stay mad at you when you do stuff like that. He smiled, that's kind of the idea. I'm sorry for overreacting, I got carried away. I promise I'll trust him now. Only because now you're sure he doesn't have a crush on me. Yeah, but also because I can tell you really care about him as a friend and I just want you to be okay. Will you forgive me? He gave me that puppy-eyed look, and it was way too cute to ignore. How am I supposed to stay upset when you look at me like that? He made the look even cuter. Please forgive me. You're making it really hard. He tilted his head playfully. Please. I sighed, alright, but don't ever do that adorable face again. He grinned, so you think I'm adorable? I walked up and hugged him around the neck. I think you're more than adorable. Oh really? I nodded. He leaned in close to my ear. Wanna tell me how much more? He ran his hands gently down my body until he reached my waist. Only if you agree to one thing, I said, breathing a little heavier. He kissed softly down my neck, speaking in between. What's that? I laced my fingers into his hair. You'll do the same for me later. He growled low and brought his lips back to mine while I pulled his hair tighter. Guys? Really? In the lounge? I smiled against Riven's lips, then pulled away to face Talon. What do you need, Talon? Mom said to call you both for dinner. She said it's a family meal night. I groaned, family meal, yeah right. Riven laughed, we better not keep your mom waiting then. He kissed me quickly on the lips, took my hand, and we followed Talon into the dining room where our so-called family dinner was about to happen. Chapter 14, Riven, Point of View. School. 6 full hours where I barely get time to hang out with Ariella. I only have 3 classes with her today, and it's gonna be super hard to pay attention with how amazing she looks. I glanced at her sitting beside me in the car and my eyes dropped to her legs, long and beautiful. Eyes on the road, babe. I looked straight ahead again, but I could still see her smirking. You just had to wear that dress today, didn't you? It's really warm out, Riven. What, was I supposed to wear a big sweater and jeans? I laughed, yeah, but now every guy's gonna be staring at you. It's too bad I only care about one guy, huh? I smiled and grabbed her hand with my free one while I kept driving. When we got to school, I parked in my usual spot and looked at her. Don't move. I jumped out quickly, ran around to her side, and opened the door. Such a gentleman. I bowed playfully. Only for you. She giggled, and I locked the car before grabbing her hand again. We walked into school. Riven. I looked around, not sure who was yelling. Then I saw her, Saren, my ex who just wouldn't quit. She rushed up to me and looked like she was gonna kiss me, so I stepped back fast. What are you doing, Saren? Trying to kiss you. What else? I looked over at Ariella and gave her an "I'm sorry" kind of look, then turned back to Saren. Why? We broke up months ago. It's done. Move on. We both know you still care about me. Stop pretending. You're nuts. I'm done with you. She reached forward and touched my chest. You don't mean that. Ariella walked up and yanked Saren's hand off me. He told you it's over. Stop being so desperate and leave him alone. I couldn't help but laugh at how direct she was. Who do you think you are? I'm his girlfriend, in case you didn't know. Well, just so you know, Riven still loves me. He'll never care for you the way he cares for me. Oh, is that right? Saren nodded like she believed it. Ariella rolled her eyes and turned to face me. She grabbed the front of my shirt and pulled me down for a kiss. A bunch of guys around us started whistling and cheering, which made me grin while kissing her back. She winked at me and turned back to Saren. You were saying? Saren shot her a nasty look. This isn't over. Then she stomped down the hallway. What a mess. Ariella, how about you let me get a test kiss too? I turned to Draven and narrowed my eyes. You wanna try that again, huh? I dare you. I was talking to Ariella, and I must say, her legs are looking really good today. I was just about to go over and hit him in the face again and again when Ariella held my wrist. Leave it, hitting people isn't the way. What's his name? Draven. She nodded. Hey Draven. He looked at Ariella. Yes, sweetheart. Come here and I'll give you a try. I looked at her all confused and sent her a thought message. Ariella, what are you doing? Just watch and learn, babe. Draven smiled and walked over to Ariella. I stepped back to see what she was planning. How long is this test? She gave him a flirty grin. As long as you want. He smirked and closed his eyes, leaning in to kiss her, and right then, Ariella shook her head and kicked him right in his private parts. Everyone around us, including me, started laughing. How's that for a try? She grabbed his hair and made him look up at her. I belong to just one guy. Get that in your head. She winked at him and let go of his hair while he rolled around on the floor, holding himself and groaning. Don't mess with my girl, Draven. That's like touching fire. She kissed me quickly on the lips, then grabbed my hand and we headed off to our first class. Math. We got into the classroom and sat in our normal seats. Since the teacher wasn't in yet, I decided to mess around a little. I lifted Ariella and sat her on my lap. I feel ignored, Ariella. She turned on my lap and straddled me. Why? I haven't gotten a real kiss yet. She smiled and slid her hands up my chest until they reached my hair. She leaned in close to whisper in my ear. Say please. I held her waist and did what she asked. Please. She grinned and leaned forward to kiss me. I nibbled on her lower lip, and right away, she opened her mouth for me. At that moment, I didn't care we were in class. The only thing that mattered was kissing my girlfriend. Seriously, you too? In the classroom? I was about to pull away and yell at whoever interrupted us when Ariella pulled back first. Shut it, Elias. He winked at her and I growled, which got me smacked in the head. You said you'd say sorry. So do it. I sighed. Ariella got off my lap and went to sit in her chair while I turned toward Elias. Elias. He looked at me, waiting for more. I just want to say sorry for how I acted before. I was jealous, and I was way out of line. I held out my hand. He seemed unsure at first, but when he saw I was serious, he shook it. It was only playful teasing. I nodded. I get that now. She told me you like someone else. His eyes widened, and he looked at Ariella. You told him? She shook her head. Nope. I love him and all, but I didn't say that. Good to know you trust me, Carrie. Don't worry, babe. I'll tell you later. She gave me a small kiss on the lips. I smiled, then looked at Elias. He was glaring at a guy sitting next to Leora. That's when it all clicked in my head. You don't need to tell me. It's kind of clear who you like with the way you're staring at that dude. He let out a breath. Go ahead and say something smart. You always do. I looked at him confused. What are you talking about? You're kind of a hypocrite, you know that? You always talk bad about others, but truthfully, you're not all that great yourself. Ariella and I both stared at him, surprised. Elias, where's all this coming from? He ran his fingers through his hair. Sorry. It's just, she's sitting right there, and she doesn't even know. I decided to help him out. I got up and walked over to Leora and the boy next to her. I tapped the boy on the shoulder. Move. Make me. I grabbed his shirt, pulled him off the seat, and he fell to the floor. Sit somewhere else. He nodded really fast and left. I sat next to Leora. How are you, Sam? I'm okay. Good. Let me just ask straight, do you have a boyfriend? She shook her head. No, but why are you asking me that? Because my friend really likes you and wants to know if he has a shot. Depends. Who's your friend? That'd be too easy, Sam. I leaned closer. Guess. I'm not good at guessing games. Let's just say he's close with my girlfriend. Shouldn't be hard now. I winked and stood up to head back to Ariella just as the teacher came in. Everyone, sit down. We all got to our seats. Well, everyone but me. Did you not hear me? Sit down. Oh, I heard you. I just chose not to listen. He narrowed his eyes. You're pushing my buttons. Sir, he didn't mean it that way. Of course, Ariella tried to back me up. I wasn't talking to you, young lady. Be quiet. I snapped. You think you can just speak to my girlfriend like that? You don't have the right to yell at me. I walked up to him, and he stepped back, looking scared. You have no right to speak to her like that. Riven, just drop it. No, Ariella. Listen to your little pet, Riven. My eyes turned red, and I punched him in the face. He hit the floor and I started kicking him in the stomach again and again. Riven. I didn't stop. I kept kicking him. How dare he call Ariella that? Riven, you're scaring her. I stopped and turned around to see Ariella crying. When I stepped toward her, she pulled back. The fear in her eyes was too much. I couldn't handle it. So I ran out of the room, out of the school, and into the woods, where I shifted and just kept running. Ariella's point of view. He ran out of the classroom and I felt so bad. I didn't mean to pull away from him, it just happened, and he looked really sad. I felt a hand on my shoulder and turned to see Talon. I think we should go home, he said. But this is only the first class. They'll understand. I nodded and gave Elias a small smile before following Talon out of the classroom and out of the school building to his car. We drove home without saying anything at all. 20 minutes later. I walked into the house and went straight up to Riven's room, ignoring all the confused looks I got while going upstairs. I stepped into his room and froze at what I saw. Kaelith. Well, hello Ariella. Riven, help. Ariella, what's going on? Kaelith is here at the pack house. I'm coming right now. Kaelith touched my face. It's not nice to ignore people when they're talking to you, Ariella. You should know better. I pushed him away, but he grabbed my hands and yanked me closer. Don't mess around with me, Ariella. This isn't fun and games. I will hurt you if you don't listen. And don't even try to change into your wolf form. He let go of my hands and took something out of his pocket. When he showed me what it was, I took a step back, feeling scared. Are you going to behave? I nodded while staring at the knife in his hand. Good. Your little boyfriend should be here any second now. He pulled me toward him and turned me around so I was facing the door. Just like he said, 2 seconds later, Riven burst through the door. Don't come any closer. He pressed the knife against my neck, and I felt tears fall down my face. Please let her go. Kaelith laughed. So you can keep her? If I can't have her, then no one can. So fast I couldn't stop it, he stabbed the knife into my stomach. No. He did it 3 more times. I started coughing up blood and fell to the floor. When I looked up, Kaelith was gone. No, Ariella, please no. This is my fault. I'm so sorry. He moved a piece of hair away from my face, and I could see he was crying. Don't leave me, Ariella. Please stay with me. The pack doctor came running in. We need to get her to the medical room now. Riven picked me up, and I screamed from the pain. I'm sorry, baby. He kissed my nose. I'm really sorry. All of a sudden, I got really sleepy, and my eyes started to shut. Don't sleep, Ariella. Stay awake for me. I wanted to stay up, but I was just too tired. My eyes started closing again. Please baby, don't sleep. I moved my lips and said, I love you, before everything went black. Back to Riven point of view. Her eyes closed, and I ran faster. Since we're wolves, we can't go to a normal hospital, so we had our own small one in the pack house. I got to the medical room, and a nurse took Ariella from my arms. I'm sorry, Alpha, but you can't go in with her. She's my mate. I know, but the rules say you have to wait here. No. I was going to push past him when I got held back. Let go of me. Sorry, Riven, but we can't listen to your order this time. I tried to pull away, but they held me even tighter. I need to be with Ariella. Let me go. Riven. I turned and saw my mom. I broke out of Torin and Charlie's grip and ran to her. She held me while I cried. Yeah, I'm a mummy's boy, go ahead and judge me. She'll be okay, Riven. This is all my fault. 1 hour later. Alpha. I looked up from my lap. Yes? How is she? She's doing okay. We stopped the bleeding, and she needed stitches, but nothing important was hurt. She'll wake up soon after the medicine wears off, and once she changes into her wolf, she'll start healing faster. So, can I go see her? He nodded, and I stood up to shake his hand, then went into the room to see Ariella. I walked in and heard the sound of her heartbeat on the monitor. That sound told me she was going to be fine. I walked over to her and held her hand. Her heartbeat sped up, so I knew she could feel me there. You really scared me, Ariella. I rubbed my fingers through my hair. If I didn't run out of class, this never would have happened. I know when you change into your wolf again you should get better fast, but that won't fix the truth that you almost died, and I'm telling you now, Kaelith will pay for everything he's done. It's like he just started a fight. I looked up at Ariella and she let out a little groan, so I moved closer and held her hand again, and then her eyes slowly opened. I tried to smile, but I just couldn't make one appear. She touched my cheek with her hand and I closed my eyes because her touch felt so soft. Look at me, she said. I opened my eyes and looked at her. Stop saying it's your fault. How did you know I was? I can feel what you're feeling, and the biggest one right now is blame. I'm going to make him pay. For now, can you just hug me instead? I don't want to make you feel worse. Please. Are you really sure? Riven, I just got hurt really bad, I just want to snuggle you. She looked down, and I couldn't say no to that sad little face, so I walked over and lay beside her on the bed. She rested her head on my chest. I wasn't scared of you. I looked at her a little confused, and she kept talking. When I moved away before, I wasn't scared of you. It was just how fast everything happened. I can never be scared of you. I'm sorry. I moved the blanket down a little, and my chest felt tight when I saw the bandages on her stomach. And even though I always try to be tough, I felt tears fall down my cheeks. Babe, I stood up from the bed and wiped my face with my hands. This is all because of me. She shook her head. No, it's not. Come here. She reached her hand out to me, and I leaned my forehead on hers. She wiped my tears and gave me a kiss on the lips. Please stop thinking it's your fault. If I didn't run away. She stopped me by kissing me again quickly. What's happened already happened, baby. You can't undo it now. I know, and that's what makes it harder. I didn't want you to get hurt. You couldn't have stopped it. I sighed and sat down next to her on the bed. I feel like I failed you as your boyfriend and your mate. I'm supposed to keep you safe, and I didn't. That's only because you couldn't. You didn't know he'd be there. Even I didn't know. I moved a bit of her hair behind her ear. I love you so much, Ariella. So much that it actually makes my heart ache. She smiled. I love you too. And I'm sorry for making you hurt. When did you hurt me? When I got stabbed. I was too focused on you to feel anything else. But we should really get you to shift now. Where should I do it? Don't worry, we've got a room made for that. Okay, but can we stay like this for now? Whatever you want, baby. She rested her head on my chest again, and I put my arm around her side. If Kaelith thinks he's going to walk away from this like nothing happened, he's wrong. If he wants a fight, then he's about to get one. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like and share this video to listen to the part 2 of this story.